It's gamey.
Extra
Yeah,
flavor.
I guess your
Extra
coffee
flavor.
is
It's very
indeed
bold.
gamey then. Fair enough.
Yeah. So everybody like came into here after the other space, and they think that they're coming in to like talk Decentraland, and really we're talking about the finer nuances of the word, gamey, and how it defines the English vocabulary language.
Languages, that is what binds us. That's how we're like we're trying to build this shared dream of the metaverse together. So, we have to agree on important things like what does gamey mean? So, it's just building blocks. That's step one.
It is, and I am not even prepared for my day. I don't have my Mew bubble on. I was taking pictures. I have a crown, and so oh my gosh, I've got to get on it. Shelly, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm in a little bit of a manic frenzy. Dino's like, you need to smoke some more weed and calm the hell down. But it's just too much. It's so exciting, and there's still many, many tasks to do. So it's a little bit of madness over here. And get this, all of this amazingness is happening. And last night, I have like this laundry list of requests for Unicorn in Switzerland to like edit things on the build and all this stuff. He's up all night delivering kittens. He's like, the world needed more Mew, apparently. So funny. Like, of all the times the cat decides to deliver last night.
Get kittens? Are these like Decentraland sponsored kittens? Can we all get them and then name them like after our app? Like Mew 1.
Oh my
Mew
gosh.
2? What if we named all of them Mew and you ship them around the country? All of us.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'll put that suggestion into Unicorn. But so yeah, he's been up all night.
Like, think about it. We could integrate NFTs and pets. Like, you buy this NFT and you get this pet that's already named.
Oh my god! Yes.
So you're still awake now? Like, I would think you should be asleep if you're preparing for 24 hours of chaos, because you're gonna be up for like 2 days.
One would think, but that's not how this is working out. We've been up since like 6 a.m. running sound checks, and yeah, but like, I don't know. We're going to crash at some point, but I'm holding strong, and we'll try not to crash at the same time.
You just gotta like treat it like you're driving across country on like one stretch where you like, Dino sleeps for 8 hours at like, or like 2 hours at 2 in the morning, and then you'll get 2 hours at like 6 in the morning tomorrow, apparently. And then, then you'll just finish it out strong together.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot of like 20-minute power naps. By tomorrow, we'll be completely deranged, and yeah. It'll be fun.
You got this, Shelly. We should like send you like a manicure pedicure package, or like maybe just take the weekend and go somewhere. I don't know, go or just take time off.
Are they all live performances? Because now it's too late to suggest, obviously, with it starting in 9 hours, but like next year or next time you do a 24-hour thing, you could do like an 8-hour package content and then like sleep that and then come back at the end of it to like do more live stuff.
Where was this 6 weeks ago?
Yeah, all my best ideas are too late to be implemented. That's the key. That's what makes them so good, is that they're like, we can never test this. It seems great though. Thanks, Jared.
That is kind of brilliant though. No, we did not think that far ahead. And because they are live, in between we're streaming, resources submitted by Mental Health Action Day partners. So we have to be like on it to make sure like, okay, when CJ's done, we stream this little video and then the next person starts. So there's really no like good chunk of time where either of us can just like tap out.
Yeah.
So we're going to be
it sounds exactly
fully
like
engaged.
Lost, where you have to like hit the code every, 48 minutes.
Kind of, yeah.
Too soon, Jared. Too soon. Some of us are traumatized by that. We're not ready to talk about it.
I recently stumbled on to some
years.
like absurdly long, like, and fairly new YouTube videos that are like, one is like, there's a 2-parter, and one of the 2-parters is 6 hours long, and it is about Lost. And I like started watching it, and I was like, oh god, this is not a good use of anyone's time, his or mine. But yeah. But anyway, Lost still is, it's kind of sad. Like, I could talk about Lost forever. But regardless, we're talking about mental health, which is not something I indicated by still clinging on to my memories of Lost.
Shelly, can you give us any, can you talk about the partners? For me, it's wonderful that we're doing this, and you know, I'm excited that the message is being shared, and it's important that the message, you know, that it isn't just another concert with like the message as an afterthought, but that the message is clear, and that, you know, if one person can get resources to either help themselves or help somebody else, then the entire thing is worth it. So what can you tell us about like the mental health action partners or the resources that they're going to provide, anything like that?
Yeah, so there's a list on, and this link will be shared in Decentraland. And sorry, there's suddenly like pressure washing right outside my door, so I just have all this noise. But
Sounds like an
Yeah,
ocean
I hear
behind you,
gentle
so it's
rain,
actually
so it
relaxing.
just makes you sound even more relaxed.
um, so we will have a link to the landing page with the resources that we've, like, Songbird has personally partnered with for this festival, because we told everybody like, hey, we're doing this thing, if anybody wants to include what they're doing, just let us know. And so we've compiled that landing page, and then we did get several video submissions. One of them's so cool, I think we're going to try, because it's only 30 seconds, we're going to try and squeeze it in like every other performance. It's kind of this documentary thing that's being made globally. If anybody wants to submit a video and share a little bit of their story, the movie or film is going to be called I Hope This Helps. So there's a trailer for that we're going to share as often as we can squeeze it in. And then we have someone who, and sorry, I should know their names, but this is just a little too much for my brain. Someone submit a video of like breath work. So I think I put that in right after Ambi. So after we get like really incredibly wound up, we're going to take 5 minutes and breathe. And then we roll into Dr. Jaffel, which this was my first sound check with him this morning, and it was absolutely awesome. Like, I can't even describe it. It was so good. I was like chuckling and just so bullish on this whole thing. And actually, I might have to dip for a minute because I think Dada Ute is going to be ready to sound check, and I need to align that with him. They're performing live from San Paulo. They took like a whole bus of their team to get over because they're based in Rio. They went over to San Paulo, and he just sent me a video of their studio. It's gorgeous. So this is turning into a little bit of chaos because I'm trying to tell people, like, please don't feel pressure to stay for the full 24 hours because that's not good for anybody's mental health. But then I'm like, oh my God, don't miss any of these shows because they're all going to be so awesome. So with that, we have hired a team of in-world videographers. So if anybody really does want to tap out, like, just know these are being recorded. If you want to park your avatar, just so like, you know, you're there in spirit, but you want to go sleep, please do so. I'm not trying to make anybody go as crazy as me and Dino are about to go in the next 48 hours.
And I think, you know, to reiterate, like, one of the reasons that you guys did that was to reach like a worldwide audience. Is that right? That, you know, there's people that can't make it to, or people, our friends across the globe, that they have to get up at, you know, 4:00 in the morning their time to listen to our concerts. So
Exactly. The mission was like, give the globe access to something they can do for mental health action. Like, take the action to jump into a community, vibe over music, meet friends, have access to resources. Because to be honest, like, connecting with all of you has been amazing for my personal mental health. Like, making friends through COVID and lockdowns. Like, this has been such a magical experience to really have this human connection. So we really wanted to give that to the full globe. Like, no matter where you are on the planet, something will be going on during your time, and jump in. But again, now I'm like, oh, we've created a little bit of a monster with like everybody wanting to stay for the full 24 hours. So yes, it will be recorded, but everybody is welcome all the time.
So, you know, since it's looking like I will be awake through pretty much all of like the Japanese hours, it's a good thing I connected with some new Japanese like Web3 friends overnight last night. Yes, I'm only on 4 hours of sleep currently, but it was totally worth it because I met so many cool people, and and you know, like. So I'm gonna see if I could even like invite them to Decentraland. Like the individuals that I did meet yesterday were mostly like spatial natives. And then they asked me what I thought about spatial, and I'm like, I think this Hyperfy is better. And then I showed them Hyperfy, and they were blown away. So, but yeah, that's a different story for a different time. So yeah, I should probably invite him.
Yes, you should.
And just want to say hello to everyone. Welcome to the space. Oh no, we lost Zesty. Dang.
He
Okay.
DM'd me that he
Anyway,
only wanted to talk about how awful Lost is and that he hates it, but then the conversation moved on. So that was all he that's all he wanted to address was that
It's
Lost is a waste of time and nothing J.J. Abrams does is worth something he will endorse.
I bet Zesty also got into the series Firefly. I'm such a mega nerd. Nobody gets it, but if you get it, you get it. Because yeah. Anyway,
that got 2 seasons, right? I didn't watch it.
No.
My mom's a sci-fi nerd, so like,
it was
I'm
the
aware
best. It was the best story ever. It's like cult classic because it was the best season, and you get to the end, and it's so good. And then they never got renewed, so it's like an ongoing joke that like. Firefly,
honestly though, like the more you think you see, like that's what shows need though, like because like if you make it, it's never as good as the people imagine, so it'll be like disappointing. Like a good first season with like a good what's in the hatch, and then never go back, spend the rest of your life arguing about what's in the hatch, and like you can have just a good time. That's good entertainment. Because like, we're inherently just going to imagine cooler, like vaguer things. Like once you put it down and get details, it's like it's just hard to make something that is as good as everyone's vague collective imagination. So never open the mystery box.
Yes, I agree. Oh, here comes Zesty.
Yeah, I actually stepped down because Twitter did that thing where everybody rugged except like Shelley. So I was just hearing what she said, nothing else.
Why does it do that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Good thing Shelley was the star of the show.
That's a question for Daddy Musk. But as for the TV show stuff, Lost is an unforgivable sin, and it going through that taught me a lot. I cut shows early now. If it seems like it's taken a dip, I'm out.
I see you do not apply that same level of regulation to your NFT investments or metaverses.
I mean, the scope of this is only TV shows. And
don't bring anything other into this, Jared. This is TV show.
Because I will not waste a second watching garbage of television, but I will spend years in a low-quality metaverse.
Jared, did you just call them meta investments? Meta vestments? Like, did you just make up a new name?
No, but I should pretend that that's what I had intended to say because that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, meta investments. See, we're not buying like computer clothing for our avatar. We're buying meta investments.
I know the guy
you have 24 hours to mint.
I know the person who coined the phrase crowdsourcing, which is like a really weird thing to think about when you're like, wait, yeah, someone did have to invent that word, and it's you, and you're not ungodly rich, because like I feel like if you invented the phrase crowdsourcing, you should have been able to crowdsource at least a few $1 million off of that alone. But he's just a Bitcoin nerd. So he probably is some amount of wealthy since he's a Bitcoin nerd, but he's low-key about it, so he doesn't seem that he's as rich as he should be, since he coined such an ubiquitous term. Like it's like one of those words you're like, yeah, you don't even think about crowdsourcing needing to be invented and having been done so like within the last 15 years. I don't. Oh, because so anyway, if a meta investment becomes a word, I will take 20% credit, and you can have the rest, Vanessa.
Okay, thank you. I just need a good way to
justify
my spending and ease my conscience that these are investments, not FOMO therapy, retail therapy buys. Like, it's not even that. It's not at all. These are
you're not in it to play poker, Canessa?
I'm here for I'm here for the culture, Zesty.
Well, for me, that DHE is the culture. I mean, it's all perspective.
Well, it's kind of like, I think when it comes to Decentraland wearable investing, like, it's tricky because it really all is predicated on if it like does become super successful. Because like, you know, if it's a kind of thing where like every future metaverse is using like Decentraland hardware, like then all your L1s are probably fantastic investments because like that's the nature of collectibles. Like, because that was before like once people are aware of the idea of collecting things like Beanie Babies, it's like or baseball cards in the '90s, it's like much harder for it to be valuable, but assuming that, you know, if there's ever a million people trying to like get on board with like DCL compatible things, then like you're a genius. You're going to be handsomely rewarded for your brilliance. But you know, if it's just us until we die, might not have been the best choice. But only time will tell.
There's silence. Sorry, I'm like
I was like, did I
killing
run or like did I
watching
just
you.
give everyone existential dread?
No, I'm over here in silence because like I'm witnessing a gopher tortoise eating dog shit. Are gopher tortoises supposed to eat dog shit?
I don't know. Aren't they illegal to touch? Did you say like you can't touch them?
Exactly. So I can't like pick it up and like be like, don't eat that dog
Maybe
shit,
bring it some
or at least I
lettuce.
don't want to.
Like I don't know.
Okay, I think it took a bite of the dog shit and said, "This is not for me."
Okay.
So Sin, you just missed on a money making opportunity. Film it, and then sell the frames as JPEGs.
I mean, that was great meme opportunity. I imagine. Like,
Get back to your gopher tortoise.
doesn't matter how slowly you eat it; it still tastes like shit.
On that note, would like to reset the room. Hello, everyone. So happy to see you all. Sorry for the gopher shit comments. Make sure to like and
Is
retweet the
that
room.
band
Tell your friends
performing
about us
tonight at
here.
the event? Gopher Shit. I loved their first album.
Or if not, if that's not an existing band, we should start one here on Decentraland, the first metaverse band to form on a metaverse called Gopher Shit. That'd be just as absurd as Sinful Meat Stick. So yeah, like retweet the room. I see a few friends in the crowd. Hello, Rustan, Mr. Sui. Thank you for having me on the show yesterday, Mr. Sui. It was awesome, and you guys did great. For some reason, I felt like I could understand the Italian, like, and I don't even speak
Were
Italian.
you smoking weed? Because I mean, sometimes like that happens. You just get so high, you're just like, I'm vibing. I understand exactly what's going on.
I actually was, so like, okay.
Yeah. So Sin, what other languages do you know?
I only speak English and Spanish.
Okay, well, the Spanish is why. They're close enough linguistically. It makes sense.
Do you speak either of those languages and can confirm? I mean, I do believe that's factually accurate, but you say it so confidently.
Dude, they come from
Yeah, I mean, I know they're all Romance languages. I understand, but like, unless you speak one of them and have ever been like in the other country, being like, oh man, I know exactly where the El Baño is, then you know, it seems sus.
No, but I dated a girl once that we watched some Italian with subtitles, and she understood half of it without the subs because
fair enough.
Spanish.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. You watched a movie once with an ex-Spanish girlfriend, of course. Obviously, having seen an Italian movie with a Spanish girlfriend once, that is, I know, yeah. Anyway, we need to get Rustan up here so that we can defend the merits of pizza. Pizzagate, DCL Pizzagate needs to be addressed. We need to be buying 38 pizzas and sending them to CoinDesk. And
yes, I'm sure Rustan will jump up here once the time is right. He's a man that picks his shots, and we might be close to that shot.
I just want to warn everybody. There's a main event coming. Pizzagate on the table.
Funny things. I learned Spanish here in Mexico, drinking tequila. I start doing my full topics with the people drunk as fuck as with tequila, and the Spanish flow is a beautiful thing. It was so funny because I was sorry with everyone. Say, oh, perdón, yo no hablo español, hablo muy mal español. And the people said me, bro, you are talking Spanish, bro. And I say, oh, whoa, this is great. So I literally learned uh, through tequila influences. But
Tequila Spanish.
I don't want to suggest this technique if you are not in Mexico, because could be dangerous out of Mexico to drink tequila.
It also probably helps if you are fully fluent in Italian.
Sorry?
It also you are fully fluent in Italian, right?
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Italian native, so usually, I mean, actually, right now after 12 years here, talking mostly Spanish and English, sometimes I feel very stupid talking in Italian because I have to think like 2 or 3 times before to talk in Italian. It's very funny, but yeah, theoretically, I'm native Italian speaker, so yeah.
I don't think any amount of tequila is going to help my Spanish. That's all.
You never know. You never know. Just crack a bottle of tequila, the finest tequila you can get. Open up a Spanish dictionary, and just
No,
go at it, man. I
Mr.
believe in you.
Swaits does it. He gets drunk and starts speaking Spanish in Mexico. Like, he's making friends. He's, throwing the life of the party. I do it, and there's just going to be a video of the racist American tourist trying to speak Spanish. And it's just going to be, front of Reddit. It's going to
It's
be terrible.
hammered.
It's going to be terrible.
So I would like to say hello to 729 Cubes. It's his first time up here in the speaker panel.
Yes,
How are you doing today?
That's me. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, that's fine. I always tried to speak via my MacBook, and that was not possible until you explained that the joining of the Twitter space is only possible via mobile phone. And so that's the reason why I'm here for my first time.
It's so counterintuitive, huh?
I have a question, Sinford. You told something about the Japanese community. It's interesting for me because, as you know, I'm running this little tiny gallery, and today we started a new exhibition with a Japanese young Japanese artist, and I wanted to ask you what kind of community thing was it with the Japanese people?
It just seemed like pretty much an overall like metaverse Web3 space that I jumped into. I noticed that Kenji was there, and I thought I'd jump in and show some love to Kenji. And to my surprise, they had an English interpreter, so I could also understand the space.
Ah, good. So last time when I started the exhibition with Aris, that was the first time, and it was really interesting for me because when I started my exploration of Decentraland, so I am a street artist, and I thought, okay, I bring together my artwork and the digital artwork, but it's not so easy. I'm still struggling with this, and I did not find my way right now. So, and last time you mentioned that I'm a learner, and that's quite true. I'm always asking questions, and there's so many new things to learn. And yeah, but this little tiny gallery now, I'm supporting artists and whatever, some guys who make wearables and digital artists. And this one is the second one. It's called Fishy Flunky Lines, and it is a Japanese artist. And if you like, you can go there. It is -52, -98, and I really can recommend this to go there because it's a special thing. And I know her because I followed the NFT New York exhibition, and so I was not there, but I met her, and we decided to make an exhibition, and that's what we are right now doing. Today it's the first day.
729. I just have to kind of tell you that like this path that you're like going in, I'm bullish and I encourage it because like these are like so far the the two artists that you are bringing in like have been artists that I've never heard of before, have never crossed paths with. So like it's always exciting to have new, fresh and new talent in the space, and so like we could we as like collectors and art lovers and metaverse enthusiasts could like learn more about these creative individuals.
Yeah, and these artists are also new in Decentraland. Yes, it is new community members, and that's really interesting. I appreciate your work with these community building on Wednesday, and I also like this ABC Decentraland tour. But for me, I'm living in France. It is not possible to join this because it's 2 o'clock in the night, and I talked to Scott, and my wish is that once a month he could do this, maybe for an European-friendly time. So.
Yes, I think Scott is thinking about it, or even I do even encourage like anyone in the European time to get involved with like putting something together. Have you ever connected with Buffalo? I believe
Yes,
he's in France, right?
yes. Certainly, I'm a big supporter. So I'm a cowboy.
Hey, me too. So,
Yeah, and I wanted. So this is my also our actual exhibition. Yeah, and if you visit the exhibition and take a selfie and post it to the artist, she will send you a nice surprise giveaway, and yeah, and I really recommend to you can click on there are some icons on in the gallery to go to her homepage and to her Instagram, and there you can see how she draws or how she's working with this, and that's really interesting because most of the artists are hiding this, but she gives good information about her kind of work, and that's
hey, that's like something really cool, like especially for like an artist trying to come into a new community. Thank you for letting us know. If there's a like tweet you would like for me to share, just message it over to me and I'll like pin it at the top and so everyone can see.
You can find my tweet. I will tweet the whole week, yeah, and give updates. But if you go to my Twitter, it's pinned now, and you can find the actual tweet with the announcement of the exhibition.
All right, sounds good. And Shelly, did you have a question for Cubes?
Shelly is too shy.
No, hello. It is so great to hear your voice.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you so much because your content is golden. I love seeing your tweets, and I just appreciate all the support you've given to not just the True community, but this particular event happening all day tomorrow and tonight. The True Lunchbox PFP challenge is awesome.
Yeah,
but I
did. Love this
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And so I did want to make one tiny suggestion for your tweets, though. If you start a tweet with an @
yeah,
only those people.
I
so more people need to see your content. So start with something other than an @ handle.
Yeah. I learned this. And if you go to my pinned tweet right now, I already changed it.
Awesome. And Kanessa, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for all you've done as well. And just everybody who's creating content and sharing and supporting this. It means the world, and y'all are rock stars.
And thank you, Shelly. I also appreciate this to go dancing in the True Club and I'm really curious about this thing tomorrow. And let's see how this works and how many people are joining this with the lunchbox.
If anybody hasn't received a lunchbox, let us know. I think everybody should
Yeah.
have at least one so far. Somebody might have more than one because I think sometimes, like, the transaction goes bad and I might have to send another one. But
Canessa, it was not really easy for me to climb up the hill today with my skateboard. As you can see, can you see my skateboard?
yes. Actually, I
Yeah.
used to. Rustan had a horrible parkour back in the early days. I couldn't do it. And okay, this is just a mental thing, but I couldn't do it with my regular feet. But if I put my skateboard on, I could do it. Now I know that doesn't actually change anything on the avatar. Probably like the colliders are the colliders, but I could do it better
But
on
this
skateboard. So
the story about this skateboard is really a funny story, because I met the 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 person who made this in True's music club, while we are dancing, and I saw, wow, this skateboard, I love this skateboard, and I'm still driving on my skateboard, and I love it. Yeah, and it is Mary Shark. I don't know if anyone heard about her, and she's not really often in these community things, but she still is there. But I have this contact since a few months, yeah, and she's a I guess she's a young woman from Spain, and she's not really good in speaking English, but we communicate in English, and she is now running a project, and this is really what is really a good thing with my little gallery, because I am so well connected now to some persons which I never thought before that I will meet in the metaverse, and so one of them is Mary Shark, and Mary Shark runs a project, Face Moon, and she wants to build a community in the metaverse, wants to buy some land, wants to give away some wearables, and it's really interesting. And you can buy these Face Moon NFT on Polygon chain for just one Matic, yeah. And so I do not really know what exactly she will do, but it's so interesting that she is, against all odds, she's doing this project, and I support her by paying one Matic, and I bought a Face Moon NFT, and so I really appreciate if you can join the Face Moon Twitter, and just made some information about this. And the first 5 people today who sends me a direct DM, I will give a present. I bought some more NFTs for the Face Moon, and I have 5 Face Moons as a giveaway today. And maybe you'll have fun to go there and look at this project. And it's really, you will not lose nothing. Just pay maybe one Matic and follow her, and let's see what she will build in Decentraland. And it's really interesting for me.
Yes, shout out Mary Shark, master wearable flipper and listings or wearable floor scooper. I've seen Mary Shark scoop some Mew bubbles for like 1 mana and then flip them for like 20 or 30.
Viciously shrewd negotiator. No, nothing but love for Mary. But man, trying to trade with Mary is just like putting your hand in like some kind of medieval vice grippy thing, because she knows how to get hers, and I'm such a softie, and I'm just like, oh, okay, maybe you do have all of my things for that little one thing I really like. You're making a good point, but yeah. But,
okay,
yes.
please send me a DM, and for the first 2 persons who send me a DM with a nice argument while you want to travel to the moon, I will send one of these NFTs from Mary Shark's Face Moon.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us, and you're more than welcome to just stick by and just join in on the conversation. I would like to pass it over to Rustan over here. He's been very patiently waiting here to talk about what could be our next biggest move. Take it away, Rustan.
Hey guys, yeah, and is today the 100th community building, or isn't it an anniversary today?
It is the official date is the 25th of May, but next week or Wednesday will fall on the 24th. So that's like I guess we could do like the 1 year there.
Okay, so it's next week. Okay, so I'm not interrupting. Yeah, so I guess Monday is National Bitcoin Pizza Day, where you're supposed to order pizza with crypto. And so we were talking about this in Last Slice, and Lastrum years ago built a kiosk in Decentraland that you could actually just order with your avatar pizza, and it would come to your home. And so he's re-releasing it for Bitcoin Pizza Monday, this coming Monday. And I thought, like, well, yeah, I'm definitely going to order a pizza that way, but I hate Domino's. I don't want Domino's, so I'd rather, will they deliver it to a garbage can? And of course you can't. So then it's like, okay, well, who can we deliver it to? And so immediately I thought of CoinDesk. And I thought, what a great opportunity to demonstrate the power of Decentraland to the blog that tried to FUD on Decentraland. And so the idea was immediately spawned, and I've never put out a grant proposal before, so I quickly put it together and put it out there. And this really is just like a community effort, a low risk, low workload effort to create some press for Decentraland, and I know how to do it with making things go viral, and I think it's a cool story that could go viral. So basically, for $1,000, we order enough pizzas to send 38 pizzas to CoinDesk's office in New York City, and I would like to hopefully get someone from Decentraland in New York City to be there and capture on video the Domino's delivery guy bringing in the 38 pizzas. And then that would be content that we could make go viral and put some more eyes on Decentraland.
It could even be an opportunity for New York Decentraland community members to meet up. And
yeah, amazing. I mean, like, the potential is amazing, and like these kind of things. Like, I love this. Like, I'm not. Nobody's making any profit off of this individually in any way. Like, to me, this is a perfect use of the Decentraland DAO, an excellent way to market, especially in this current day and age, with the way people get attention. I mean, we saw a man become president of the United States, using techniques like this, and I don't know. I know that people can sometimes start to worry about what possibilities and things, what would be the repercussions of doing this, but I don't think in any time in history has there been a demonstration of pizza harming anyone. So if I was CoinDesk and I received 38 pizzas and we didn't have enough people in the office to eat it, I would give it to the homeless. And so in that case, everybody wins. But I'm not going to be responsible for what they do with their pizzas. But I think that this is kind of like a win-win situation, and Decentraland is not a corporation. We are individuals, and we do not need to worry about things that corporations do. And like I always think about like Grand Theft Auto, what they did to become the behemoths that they are back in the 90s, when the whole world was putting out press about how bad it is with all the violence and stuff. But like, Decentraland needs more attention, man. This is a really easy way to do it. I really hope everybody votes. I don't care about voting power. I don't care if you vote yes or no. I just, like, if it passes, I don't want anyone to be like, oh yeah, only 38 people voted, and we have more than 38 votes, but I would like to see every single person who's hearing this, please take the time to vote. Thank you.
No, thank you. And I mean, kind of like was shooting the shit with you a little bit yesterday. Like even like the thought of like sending the voting list over with the pizza. It's like courtesy of all 38 of us, and it'll be like 100 people that voted.
Yeah, like there's so many things you can do, and I think a lot of those can really be fine tuned after the fact, because this really is a low effort thing. Like there shouldn't be too much effort spent on this. You know, like I said, nobody's making any profit. It's a really easy tactic.
Totally. And Zesty, did you have a question for Rustan?
No, not a question. So this actually goes back to the comment about pizza and harm. Yeah, that pizza bombing is like a classic 4chan tactic. I voted no on this because it's funny as fuck. Like, I almost cried laughing as I read the proposal. Like, I'll just be completely honest. But this will probably get construed as harassment.
Just how they harassed the baby dolls by calling them, what was it, scantily clads or some shit like that?
No, I'm talking about like 4chan, like the classic like internet hate machine days when they would latch onto some lolcow and just they would send them pizzas, usually via credit card fraud, and also dildos. Like,
Are you suggesting we should switch to tacos?
Isn't the credit card fraud the problem that leads to the person getting the pizza getting in trouble, though? Because, like, just sending someone pizza, like, I wish all my haters chose to pursue the path of hating me with pizza.
Yeah, I mean, we're clearly, clearly the credit card fraud part of it's not, a factor here, because that's being replaced with DAO funds. But this is still like a 4chan harassment technique. So I voted no on it. I hate to be the buzzkill, but that's just, I voted how I feel.
Totally respectable.
I just kind of wanted to add on to what you were saying about the 4chan pizza thing, because the point that you're missing is what that originally came from is people sending people pizzas is a form of harassment from people being like doxxed. People would send people pizzas saying, hey, we know your address, we know where you're at. It comes from a very negative undertone. It doesn't have any kind of positive light if it came from like what the original, what you're saying, the original prank, quote unquote, of sending people pizza is very negative. It usually comes with death threats and other negative things from a very weird 4chan-y internet space. Kind of what you're referring.
It starts with doxing, then it escalates to pizza and dildos, and then swatting.
Well, I have no intention of sending dildos, so.
No, but the point is that it's just like the internet comedy. It just could be perceived as not internet comedy because people do similar things in a very negative way. So it just should be something considered before it's done, just because people do this as a very negative thing. So if you're trying to do it for a publicity stunt, it's more than likely that it's going to be very bad publicity, because it's not going to be taken the way that you think it's going to be taken as a joke. They're more than likely going to spin it in this bad light.
I mean, it's probably not worse than just repeatedly lying about people in public forums from a position of power. So, like, where is the ethical line on what is and isn't, unacceptable?
But I think that's where, they have a choice how they're going to report, and we have a choice how we're going to react. I voted yes, and this morning I changed my vote to abstain because I had a conversation with somebody, and it just kind of changed the way that I want to frame, at least like my little portion of Decentraland, that we don't know that, like, somebody wrote that article, right? It wasn't a whole group of people. I'm sure there were editors who approved it and it went through. But at the end of the day, that was an individual author who put that article out there. And we really don't know what the repercussions were, if any. If you write, like, I'm not a journalist. I don't know what happens if you write an article that gets backlash, that the company actually gets forced to possibly make a statement, but my guess is that it's probably not good. Like that probably goes on your whatever, your record, your ding, and not saying that like it's not good to shut down one publicity stunt, because maybe there's one person out there who could be adversely affected by it. But I don't know. I mean, it just like, I can only speak for myself. It just it's funny, and if we could do it, like I left a comment in the DAO too, like I'll donate money to the cause if we just want to send them pizza with like a clear communication that like, hey, we're out here, if you guys ever want to take a tour, meet us at Genesis Plaza, here we are, like, but be really concise, really clear that we're Decentraland, like all love, this is pizza day. But I yeah, unfortunately in this day and age, I think it'll, we can't say
What
that
about
bad
one
publicity.
pizza with 38 different toppings?
Oh my gosh, how are we going to decide on what topics? We can't even decide on, how the DAO money's going to be spent. But yeah, that's a good idea. That's going to be a thick crust to support all that.
Well, no matter what, vote no if you believe no, vote yes if you believe yes, because like at the end of the day, I would maybe think that CoinDesk is, like some people perceive as, watching DAO votes, and it would be nice to see a number higher than 38 in the votes.
Yeah, CoinDesk definitely reads the DAO comments, because they've reached out to some of us, like when there's interesting DAOs and they want to like talk to us behind the scenes, and so they're definitely reading our comments like on a regular.
Yeah, hey, I mean, there's definitely, a good way to do it. You could send a positive note and stuff like that. I just wanted to play devil's advocate in the same way as Essie was, and just provide a little bit more context on, kind of what he was saying with the whole 4chan pizza origins.
Yeah, for me, it's like about intention, and a lot of people seem to ignore intention these days with like cancel culture and things like that, But I've always stood by intention, and obviously our intention is not to like destroy anybody at CoinDesk. This is just
and
like,
I think the
all
context of
for good.
the crypto pizza day kind of, I also think is relevant. So
yeah, and maybe it just comes as like maybe it just is a little bit more of a zing, because we're celebrating like Mental Health Action Day, like tonight and tomorrow with True, and then we're talking about doing something like this. There's some inconsistencies there that the community will decide what the community decides. But that's my two satoshis for that.
I mean, how many people work at CoinDesk? Surely it's not like, I don't know, like I don't feel like sending a corporate office pizza is like really the same thing as bullying an individual, and like comparable to like being the antithesis of celebrating mental health. I think that's like a very narrow way to frame it from a person. I don't know, it just feels like.
Yes. So we looked at a lot of things. The delivery address is the entire second floor of a building in downtown New York City. I guess I could look at the number of employees on LinkedIn.
CoinDesk has 285 people as listed as employees, according to the first thing that Google lists when you Google the question CoinDesk employee count. So like, I don't know. It's not. I don't know.
The only real negative downside is that New Yorkers will be very upset to receive Domino's pizzas, and not a good pizza.
That's like a Seattleite getting like Folgers coffee.
Exactly.
That's rough. So what if?
I mean, that could be worse than sending dildos.
So what if we had somebody like from the Decentraland community who could go with these and like explain good intent?
Well, I think it would be a cool opportunity for New York Decentralanders to get together and be there for when they're delivered. It's like a perfect meetup, and then it's also an opportunity, like you said, to like convey a message.
You should do them from Instacart and have them pick them up from like Walmart or something, and send them frozen pizzas. So then they can't even eat them. They just have a bunch of frozen pizzas that they have to cook.
I'm confused. Are you pro sending them pizza now, or still against it? Your inner troll can't resist helping brainstorm good ideas.
I'm leaving.
Can we like put a iPad in one of the boxes so they like eat through three of the pizzas, and then they open that one, and then we Rickroll them, and it's got the Rickroll song on there.
Now that sounds expensive. Way more than 1,000 die. I do see like something in the comment. I'm not going to mention the name in case they don't want me to, but if they want to come up and speak, they're more than welcome to. We're talking about mental health implications of sending free lunch to an organization. Think about that.
Hey, and I'll just put it out there. I'm way more sensitive than the average person, so I get it. Like I'm in this regard, I'm a snowflake. I'm wilting, fragile, easily melting. So I get it. I get that. Yeah. I'll be a bulldog on some other ones, but this one I'm just a wilting snowflake.
Which is great, you know, that's always a great trait to be empathetic to others, but don't forget about the damage that Decentraland took, you know, from what they did, and we're just responding in a way that is, it's not negative. I get the 4chan thing, but you know, this is an opportunity to reinvent, but more importantly, bring more eyes to Decentraland and showcase the power of the DAO and the community voting process and ordering pizzas from within the metaverse.
Yeah, as a person who had Rob L like, you know, link directly to my like full legal name and say like, now that I know who you are, we'll have fun. I'm very sympathetic to the plight of an individual being doxxed and having their home address, you know, potentially revealed to internet psychopaths. But like, I don't think it's like a fair one-to-one comparison to be like, 4chan doxes innocent streamers with dildos and pizzas. Sending this corporate office lunch is bullying. Like, it's not like, you know.
I think you're missing the point. It's just important to understand the undertones of your action. So whenever you're doing something, you should understand how it relates to other things. Is the point that I was making.
Yeah, but as Rustan pointed out, context matters. And I mean, the undertones, like you're creating overtones by explaining it, but like that, those undertones primarily exist in like your imagination. Because again, sending pizzas to an individual's house,
No, it's a totally
and
real
sending
thing
it to a
that happens for
corporation
real
house,
people.
a corporate
That
office is
could
very
be
different.
mentioned. You're just enclosed in a box. But whatever, we should move on.
Okay, well, what I hear from this is that if Lastrom could hook the crypto buying thing to tacos, we can send them tacos on Taco Tuesday. And then that eliminates the whole 4chan nonsense. It's a win-win. Might even cost less.
I mean, are you just going to send 38 tacos? 38 tacos is probably cheaper than 38 pizzas.
Can we do a special?
It's not less visually
Can we do
appealing.
a special order? Let's do giant tacos. That's all.
I'm just going to say, if anybody wants to send me 38 tacos, I will happily devour them all. Maybe give Dino a couple.
I think you deserve 38 tacos, Jelly.
I heard a kitty. Hello, Mew. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. We have let's see, 41 people here. Thank you all for your time. Make sure to like and retweet the room if you would like to come up and speak, talk about any topics. You're more than welcome to request. Or if you're new to Decentraland, wondering what the hell we're talking about, and would like to receive 38 pizzas, this could be a possibility for you. So yeah, thank you everyone. Okay, guys, continue.
You know, the lore of Decentraland is just going to continue to grow where like people will say 38 and everybody gets it, you know, and everybody understands. But in the future, it won't. Like, I wonder, are there things like that happened before, you know, the masses arrived? Like, and who the heck is writing all this lore down so we don't lose it? Or are these like generational, like oral stories that just get passed down and it's forbidden for us to write them? They have to be passed, you know, from the elders to the next generation.
Well, I'm sure I'll screenshot it when I get the opportunity.
You would never screenshot something, would you, Jared?
I would, and I would argue with a person for days about why they thinking that's an effective form of a debate is a complete, absolute absurdity. But no, I think that the 38 will like maintain in legend. Like, you know, someone will eventually, you know, start their own, you know, nightclub called like, you know, Club 38, and that, like, you know, I think the memes can last. It's all up to the meme keepers, who the meme makers. They are the ones who write history. So we'll see.
God.
We missed a golden opportunity. Like, is there an official? Sorry, I just realized there are two avatars getting very snugly on my screen. Oh my gosh, totally got distracted. Okay, here we are, back on track. Is there an official Decentraland day? Because if not, maybe like March 8th, 3/8 should be official Decentraland day.
Isn't like the anniversary, like February 20th or whatever the official anniversary?
Yes.
Or Decentraland Day? I feel like that
is the birthday, but maybe this is the day we celebrate the people. I don't know. Just want to celebrate something on March 8th, guys. Come on, like, is it anybody's birthday? Like, can we just make it something? And not March 38th, March 8th, Zom. He's posting in world, and he says that Decentraland version 38.0017 when we're out of beta. But I'm not sure when we'll be out of beta.
That's the truth.
There are a lot of friends on Parcel, so thank you for being here. I see some new and some faces that I haven't seen for a while. Denova, Delson, Nick Romano, Z, Sael, JK47. So thank you everybody for being here. And if anybody would like to discuss anything, please feel free to come up.
Is anyone else gonna run for DAO committee? Because there's only like 4 or 5 people so far having put their names in the ring.
I think I might give it a whirl. Why not? I'll put in my little sad small Mew application probably soon.
I can't remember. Were they doing 1 week or 2 weeks of having that up? Because it's got to have been up for a week now.
Shit. Then I better hurry.
Let me call for. It was posted 6 days ago, and we will accept applications for the next 2 weeks. So until May 25th, 8 a.m. my local Eastern Standard Time. So you still have a week. Get your applications in. Right now, you are going to be competing against a Web3 Knit, aka Lord Like in Discord. Very active. I think from like in the DAO Discord perspective, if like that was the only if the forums in the DAO Discord were your only only perspective of the DCL, I think you would probably agree. You would think he was the best possible option since he's very active in all the committees. We've got SZ Janko. I never remember which how he prefers to have that shortened, but he had gotten the most votes until Robel had powered through Tobik in the last elections. So he's a valid candidate. He's got lots of DCL experiences, landowner forever. After him, we got Nachione, Nachione. I recognize the PFP name, but I can't place him in any kind of specific way to hype him.
Nacho.
Am I just that's it? I'm not surprised I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, from Hexroid.com. Yeah, they do lots of cool art stuff. I knew I was, but I don't know him well enough to give him a good sales pitch. But he's out there, and then they got then DCL Curations, and I think that, and I mean, obviously, I think we all appreciate his marvelous work, helping try to making learning about DCL fun. And I think he's definitely, an excellent candidate for the choice. Will be a top vote getter potentially. But it's only those 4 people? Is that how many just named? So I wonder if there's gonna be a lot more late entries. Because last round, I feel like there were way more people in the mix. But maybe they've since, as Oddjob had mentioned last time we were talking about it, the concern for being the one U.S. representative on an international, legally undefined committee. Though there were someone had mentioned Yamel once posted a proposal or a draft suggesting that DCL incorporate, or the DAO itself incorporate, which I think would be an interesting path. That way, the people of the United States would be less terrified about, working towards these positions. So, but that said, I think that if you're not because Oddjob, he's a responsible adult. He has a family. He's not a young 20-year-old, 30-year-old ready to take some gambles. If you don't have anything to lose, Like I say, you know, like being the person the federal government sues as a representative of DCL would probably like get you to, you know, in a position where you can at least have some, you know, write a book, sell a book, get on some talk shows. Like you could probably monetize that. I feel like the risk reward there is probably not too bad. Assuming you don't
I'll send the U.S. government the 38 pizzas. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it on my end. I don't have a mansion to lose. I barely have a room. So, hey,
exactly.
why not?
Yeah, if you don't have a house and a 401k and like a nice teacher's pension thing, like whatever they have, like all those things to lose, I say go for it. It's all upside. Short of the potential prison time. But like even then, you can write a book in prison.
You totally could. I wonder if in the future they'll start. Oh no, oh my God, no, this is a rabbit hole I have in my head now. I don't even know if I should like say
your
it.
metaverse jail cell? What?
Yeah, metaverse prison or something like that.
Yeah, but you will be mining in the not wonder mine. That'll be your prison time.
What if like you could only choose default clothing?
That would be oddly awful. That would be you.
Yeah, I'm not. That's why I don't mess with the law. Like, I don't want to go. I don't want that. I don't want that on my karma.
But yeah, I think only 4 people applying. I feel like it's a testament to how draining participating in the DAO is. That people aren't even excited to engage with the one of the few ways to get paid to do it. Paid well. It's a handsome pay.
I think some people actually have these things called jobs.
You don't. It's 5 hours a week, and you get $2,500. Vanessa, you can make that work.
God, that does sound good. That is better than knitting hats.
And while they say it's purely technical, that's kind of misleading because it's like technical in that you are executing technical functions. It is not technical in that you need any technical understanding to do it. Really, if you can, install a MetaMask and follow links to places to, execute functions, you're good. You could definitely do it. So you should 100% apply just because you're popular. People would vote for you. And it's $2,500. Come on.
For the culture.
I can't do it. There's no way I would win. I believe one of the job requirements would be able to work well with Tobic and HP. I don't think there's any reason to believe that is a possibility for the 3 of us based on how they communicate with me.
But a good reality show.
I would love to see someone present some kind of grant request to better make visual content, because I feel like I can't remember who it was. If it was IPG back before he left Decentraland, but someone I was talking to brainstorming with had a really good idea for recreate the kind of content you could make given the limitations of Decentraland as it is, and reality TV show style content would actually probably be one of the easier to create engaging content with, assuming you had the correct personalities. But generally speaking, I understand why most people don't think, what I want to do? Perfect metaverse real world. Which is why I'm now trying to get someone to help me make Metaverse Big Brother, because I think that game show would also be a very take the social elements of DCL and then add some the bare minimum mini games it's capable of handling in a fun way, and then that should be somewhat engaging. People play Big Brother orgs on Facebook via Google Meetings. There's Google Meeting PvP going on. DCL could capture all those nerds if they just gave them a fun place to play their vote each other out games.
So maybe that's what we need to do, is have the community vote. 12 individuals from the community could be chosen. Who would they choose? Who would they put together? Like Jared, I don't think that you're abrasive with anybody, so I don't know if you'd be a good fit. But there's probably some people out there. Shelly.
There was a reality show that didn't do well, but it was back in the poker boom. It was called 2 Months, 2 Million, and they took all these 20-year-old poker players and they put them in a house together to then play online poker. I think they were on, I don't know if it was individual, I don't remember if they were whoever won the most, was gonna be a bragging rights or something. But I feel you could do some kind of hodgepodge that, where you take the IRL list of people and then also overlay the metaversey things they're doing. I feel there could be some way to like capture a bigger mainstream market audience share with like that kind of content maybe, but
Yeah, or have like, I mean, just like 1 hour a day where you have to, everybody that agrees to this, they show up at the Wonder Mine and they're together for like that 1 hour in the Wonder Mine. I don't know. Like,
oh yeah, I mean,
everybody's just
I
watching.
don't know.
Comes and
Yeah, I mean,
them,
that's
or
how
like,
the orgs do it for
they-
sure. But they also have like group chats. Like that stuff seems like it consumes your life. Like imagine playing Survivor in between the rest of your daily life, where it's just like you're like, oh, on my 50-minute break, I need to text these 12 people about like who we're gonna vote out tonight. It's like it seems wild, but I totally think it would work.
I think it's also like reality is very different. There was a really good if anybody's into steampunk, there was a really good steampunk reality TV show, and so I'm friends with a couple of the people that were on there, and they said that like they were not allowed to talk to anybody like at all if it wasn't on camera. Like they would get yelled at if they talked to another person from the show. They weren't allowed to help people. Like so like here was the messed up thing. They got them up super early and then gave them like a light breakfast, and then they like intentionally restricted the food that the
They made them like
people on the
hangry
show
on purpose.
Yeah, they made them hangry on purpose. So like the first meal of the day was 2:00 in the afternoon, and yeah, so the person said like she said she hated it. She wished she hadn't done it because it was hard. Like she many hours of therapy, and I don't know, that's
that's why. Oh man, that's why that's why you have to have like an objective. Like that's why maybe like I never really watched it. I'm not a big fan of The Apprentice, but I feel like like the Metaverse Apprentice, where it's like, okay, guys, like you've got a $10,000 grant, and you've got to make a thing that has gets the most people. Like there's 2 teams. You get like, okay, you each have this budget. You have to make it, and then like there's just like recording like a group voice chat where like everyone is like trying to brainstorm this idea, like stuff like that. I can see like there's definitely ways to create content that via the reality TV perspective that I think would make. And I also actually that idea. Wow, obviously I don't think anyone is inherently super excited about the idea of recreating The Apprentice. I actually kind of think that idea would be like the best kind of way to present Decentraland. Like here's active builders making things. Look how they work in the space. Like look, they have to go get a 3D artist, or they're doing this. And you can screen record them working in Blender maybe. I don't know. Help present the working, but then have the characters, the personality element would like help sell it more.
Yeah, you get like a master, you get like KJ Walker, and then you get like a noob, and they're paired together and they have to work together on a project, and then every week you put it up to the community to vote. Like maybe they have to make a wearable. Maybe the noob has to make it, and that's
a good idea. There's a type of chess content where like it'll be 2 awful chess players who will make the moves, but then they're playing with like a grandmaster who tells them. So like the grandmaster will be like, move a pawn, and then the noob has to pick a pawn, and then like the other person will be like, move a knight, and then the noob has to pick like what to do with it. So like that could be like a fun way to like have it work out, where like that like as you said, the expert and the novice like working together in tandem. So that does make
content. And then 1 week it's a wearable creator, 1 week it's like a builder, then we get the DJs in the crowd. Like they have to teach the person how to make a song, and then like at the end there's like they go like, I don't know, they go head to head, and there's like 2 venues, and they have to like do a DJ battle or something. I don't know what other, like they have to create an emote. Let's see, so wearable, building, emote, DJ, they have to code something. Oh, that would be hard. Yes, I love this idea. Sorry, I gotta go do this idea now, you guys. See ya.
Yeah, the problem is you also then just need everyone to capture the footage correctly, because that would be the hard part with production. Because in that case you're kind of like hoping that all your contestants are also like correctly capturing the footage and uploading it so it doesn't get lost. Because like it would be brutal to go through that whole week and then find out like, oh wait, my screen's been black the whole time, or like there's no audio. But otherwise I still think the idea's got merit.
Yeah, something like that. We can have Shelly explain how to take like, put on an entire show, get like 5,000 DJs, get all the sound checks right and everything. And speaking of that, I see Losi in the audience. Hello, Losi. Lucy is playing. I'll say tonight, but I'm not actually sure when she plays. It could be tonight. It could be in the middle of the night. It could be like tomorrow morning. And who else do we have? Oh, CJ Trax and Mr. Sway. We said hello to. So yes, I hope all these DJs are sleeping and getting rest. And I guess that might be a good thing to transition on. Is like, what are y'all's like battle plan for this 24-hour mental health action venue, I guess? Oh, Shelly, you've got your hand up.
Oh, yeah, funny time because my plan is like coffee and weed, like a good balance of like energy and pizza. We're gonna order pizza tonight, not Domino's. Sorry, I'm multitasking like a maniac behind the scenes here, but I just pinned a couple of tweets because NFT Horizons just wrote an article about the event, and I have no idea who that is, like the writer. So if we can retweet that, that would be cool.
That is awesome. NFT Horizon. I don't think I've seen them around before, but that is great. Thank you for pinning that. Awesome. And welcome, CJ. You came up to the speaker panel. How are you today?
Doing good. Just saying good morning from everybody. I've been up for like already 5-6 hours. I got up super early today to do some, running around dad errands. But just stopping in to say hello. Really excited for tonight. It's going to be a really, really epic event at the True Stage. I was confused a little bit because I was making promo videos yesterday, and I ended up saying the True Band Room coordinates, just being so confident saying it too. And then I'm like, Shelly's like, don't forget it's at the True Stage. I'm like, oh shit, I completely forgot. But I guess my strategy is to try to stay up for. I'm not going to try to stay up for 24 hours. I'm going to be honest. Like I'm going to get I'll get at least a 4 or 5 hour nap somewhere in during the show. But I get to perform at 9 p.m. my time, so I get to perform, still stay up a little bit, and watch a bunch of performers before I go to sleep. I usually go to sleep at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'll at least get to catch a bunch of them. I'll try not to miss too many of the ones while I'm sleeping, and then be up at 5-6 in the morning again to enjoy the rest of the day of shows. But I really think it's going to be a fun event, and I just retweeted the NFT Horizon thing. I just read I just skimmed over the article really quick. It's really cool that they featured us. It's awesome. Hope to see more of that from more companies that they shed light on the lower users, but they don't shed light on the big pack parties. And I actually am putting together a video right now of all the videos that I have saved on my computer over the last, I've had this since August, so I have a ton of videos that I'm going to put together of just showing massively packed events that I've been to over the last year. I think that'll be really cool. And just working on making more content of my physical self actually talking, and just explaining to people about the event tonight, and just trying to get more people on board and just to come have fun and enjoy something different, because a lot of people don't realize this, but I saw the wave of people come into TikTok during the pandemic, in 2020, and so many people in my circle, I have a huge circle of business people, but so many people in my circle were just stay away from this metaverse stuff, stay away from this, it's a scam, blah, 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 blah. And I think it was kind of the same thing when I was just getting into making TikTok videos all the time. It was yo, why are you dancing in front of a camera all day? That's stupid and it's a waste of time. I've had people in my family tell it to my face, I've had friends, I've had all these people tell me this type of stuff. So I think it's the same thing with the metaverse. I'm kind of in that same bubble right now where people are just why are you wasting your time here? And they don't realize exactly what I'm actually doing here. And I think events like this will shed light on in a positive way. And I think more people that are, into mental health and into spirituality and that are into just good vibes and positive energy. I think that the more people we get like that in this, I mean, that's the kind of people we want in this, I understand that the meme culture, and I understand putting things out there that can go viral for a topic to talk about to get that buzz, but I feel I'd rather get there slower with the grind of having people around that we actually want around versus having the masses come around that are just here to mess around and not really care about the metaverse. But anyways, you guys know I could rant off about so much shit in one chat that I do, but I really just am hyped for
Hi
tonight.
there.
See, the trick with it is a user acquisition funnel, though, is you cast a net, like, cause like you're never gonna like when you have a product, the goal is you get people to check it out, and then you optimize like retaining them. So like with something like you're not gonna get all killer builders with a pizza purchasing a shtick, but you're gonna get like millions of eyes on the product. Hundreds of thousands of them may go on to check it out, or tens of thousands of them, and then of those 10,000, you're gonna get to like retain like 200 like solid people that are like gonna build and contribute to the future, and then you're gonna have like an ancillary a couple thousand just casual hangouts. So like I hear where you're coming from, where you also want to be doing the building slowly, step by step, to get to that like solid future, but it doesn't hurt to sprinkle in some some zany antics along the way.
No, I 100% agree, and I think like if you look at things like the Pepe coin that exploded over the it's been a month right now, if you think about that. But people in the physical world are almost like they embrace things that don't really have a actual, like people see value in what they want to see it in. But like something like as simple as a coin, you can see how many people jumped into it just off the fact that it is a meme, and it is something that's like a culture-driven thing that the people talk about in spaces and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's wild to see how much that's grown in a month, versus like something that has been around for like 4 or 5 years, which has more. To me, I see the metaverse as having so much utility because I'm actually like living it and making a living in it. But it's. I really feel like, I think that we do have to have. I like Poutine's content. He's been posting a lot of funny content recently, which brings a lot of attention. I think there's other ways that we can, bring a lot of attention to us. But I still am on the other side of that too. I'm still on the side of like, hey, there's still things that have to be fixed to make this sustainable and want people to come back. I had a conversation with the UX team, last or 2 weeks ago, and I literally slammed 2 hours worth of like problems and things that we had to fix to make this a more easier website to understand. Not a website, but like just being on browser or being on client. Like it just has to be more simple to get in, and then getting around has to be a lot more like straightforward and in your face, like right in the UI. I told Decentraland, like, Spatial has a great example of like a basic simple layout that anybody can understand. Like I can go into Spatial right now and like click 2 buttons, and I'm in somebody's world hanging out, with a very little friction involved, So I really feel like once we can get like the homepage looking good and like the obviously not crashing and a bunch of other things that we have to work on working better, I think that I started streaming to TikTok live a lot. I started using my TikTok platform. I finally was able to stream from OBS to TikTok. It took forever for me to get it, but now I'm literally having 500 to 1,000, 1,500 people tune in to my live while I'm DJing at the same time while streaming on TikTok. People are all interested in it now. Like, oh, what is this? How do I get into this? How do I get into that? So it's like I've been waiting to do that for I've been waiting for the right moment to really start doing that. As far as like, like, hey, this is a developed world. Come check it out. But I'm still more like, hey guys, this is the world that I'm working in. I'm building and growing in. But it's still testing. We're still working things out, working out the kinks. And I really could see the growth long-term wise. I'm focused on the long-term of all this.
So I would ask a question, or just put it out there for thought. Like, imagine what Decentraland was like when the new wave of users came in like November of 2021. Like, and then just compare that to what we have now, because we had we had poor, like, we couldn't really search as well. Like, there weren't as many like events as there are now to go and do, and so sometimes I just think, like, what if a big catalyst event happened and the masses came today? They would have like Dice Masters, they'd have like, well, I don't know about that, the poker scene might be kind of similar to the way it was back then, but multiple new clubs have started. I mean, there's an event there's an event every day, like multiple times a day. So I feel like there is so much more content right now, or like I would call it like flypaper to stick them to. Like, whatever we all found when we came in around that time, whether it was before or after that date, like there was enough that kept us here. And so I feel like the next time we do get a big event, there will be more to keep people here, hopefully. and even the interface, like the ability to save outfits that we like, or let's see, Derek just said in World that we can place favorites in Discover. I think that's what it was. So just even the user interface, like as that becomes better, it's going to be more appealing. But I'll say again, like we need to develop the VR client, and we need to have like more consistent. We just have to have a better, more consistent gaming experience so that people don't crash. And those things, I'll just keep bringing them up. I know that there's like talk of VR in the new, what is it, like next year, that something's going to happen, but we just need to keep barking and saying, like, I don't know who the right person is to bug about that, but I'll just keep saying
there's
it.
a grant for for VR support. I think there was one, and it had worked. And then there was an update to something that broke it. So I believe that, I mean, I could be misremembering and it failed, but I believe that they submitted a new grant last quarter and it got approved. So in theory, there should be someone to ask about the progress.
It had gotten denied twice, and then they had written another one, I think like maybe a month and a half ago, and I had saw it on there, and I'm pretty sure it got passed, and it looks like they're starting to fix whatever had changed in the breaking, because I had actually tested it once, and literally only one time was when I tested it. I never tested it again because I just would rather be on my computer. It wasn't something that I physically enjoyed. Like some people don't enjoy putting a headset on and being stuck to it. I really like I've been following Jason X, and I've been like really he puts a lot of stuff like ahead of like when it comes out. I actually got to check out the new backpack coming out, which I suggest you guys can all check out if you guys haven't yet. You can actually go on browser and then paste this thing into the end of it, and you can actually test out the new backpack. It actually is a lot easier to understand. It just takes a little bit to get used to because we're so used to the way we've already been doing it. But now things are sorted in like, you know, by the rarity, you can sort it by searching for it. Like it's just like, oh my god, it's gonna make getting dressed so much easier. I can't wait.
I agree that I enjoy Jason X's new content about updates into Decentraland far more than his content where he tries to sell you numbers for names based on their appearance in obscure 90s pop culture.
He really goes in with that. He's like he was always posting names for a while, and I was like, what is going on here? Like, I'm not gonna buy a random ass name that I'm never gonna use ever in my life. It's pretty funny. But I also, Jared, I love your idea.
I appreciate having that kind of conviction in something. Like I, as an ADHD person, have never had that level of conviction in anything in my entire life. So like part of me appreciates that, but the other part of me is like, man, I don't know. I think are we both all in on this together? Because like you're making me think maybe I'm crazy for standing next to you sometimes.
And it's wild too.
I love that because my favorite thing is to find names that he hasn't minted, and then I'll just put it in there like as a picture, and then just like tag him with like sunglasses, like. So yeah, I like.
I mean, I could see where like as like that, like, you know, wanting the fun of the annoying little brother sister role. Like I could definitely see the enjoyment in that, but I don't know if that's the best reason to invest in things. That seems like it might be.
I minted Bucky. I mean, Bucky Barnes. Come on, like he just wanted a plum in Budapest, and they brainwashed him. They put his brain in a blender, and like. I was so glad I got Bucky, and I was like, dude, boom. And then he's like, didn't you want this? And he's like, he's got Bucky Barnes. And I'm like, damn it. But yeah, I have Bucky.
Can't believe we've been talking about Jason X and have not brought up his tweets about like the mobile version of DCL or the 2D version of DCL, him running around in there.
That's why I had actually brought it up.
I don't know what you're talking about, but that sounds like a fever.
I saw that yesterday. I was really hyped about that. Another thing that he posted recently that I think is super interesting to learn about is like him trading level 1 Ethereum wearables and like making like, according to him, and this is, you know, like ballpark range, but he said according to him he's made almost $500,000 trading stuff. So I mean, it's like, it's not like it's not possible. It's definitely possible. And I even seen a one-time Sugar Club had mentioned that one time that they made really a lot of money off of land trading, and I don't know how all that works behind the scenes. I just know that that's what they claim, and I think that those numbers are astronomical, and I think that businesses would thrive off.
I would argue that that's more of like being a parasite on the community than like a beacon of like virtue, because like all that money is money they got from trading like the inflated value of goods, because like the land is a controlled market, so like being willing to profit off of a controlled and manipulated market is a choice, but I don't necessarily know if it's an ethical choice like I would consider virtuous, or one that like, you know, is a characteristic that isn't people I would want to like elevate to like, you know, positions of heroes.
Okay, so but we got to remember, like the like those numbers. When you look at those numbers and the money that people have spent, that like it was a different world when mana was 5 cents. So like, yes, Hiroto Kai has made. I mean, it's all public in the marketplace. Like so much mana, but yeah, like it was no big deal to spend 300 mana on a legendary back then. So I think like the land flippers, if you want to talk about that, like DCL Blogger, he was the man. Like that's the person who has done a lot. So I think that, yeah, like it doesn't matter what you did with the mana, like buy or sell. It matters when you converted it into US dollars. That's like the bottom line. Just make sure you take profit, friends. That's all.
Fair enough. I guess it is actually technically possible that every party involved in the trades got screwed because of the nature of crypto. Because, like, in theory, you could have sold someone overvalued land for 5,000 mana at $5 a piece mana, but then if you just held on to that till it was back down to 40 cents, considering there is absolutely the potential for all parties involved to somehow have lost money, which I think is
some level of like getting screwed. Like I almost didn't get into Decentraland because I missed the second land auction by 2 months, and I'm like, nah, I missed it. It's too late. Like
think about all the free time you almost saved.
Yeah, it's March of 2019. This ship has flown, but or sailed, and I think land back then was like $75 a parcel or something, and I ended up spending on mine. I think it was like $300 per parcel. So you could say that I was the loser because I spent way more than they did, because I bought my land like 3 months after it became available, and actually somebody bought it like 2 weeks before me, and then I bought it for more. So I was like the third, like the price kept going up. So I don't know. I mean, as long as it's two consenting, I don't even care if you're an adult, it's just two consenting parties and you're agreeing on this land, then nobody got screwed if everybody decided on it. I think that like land flipping, it just, that's what you did. I mean,
we can agree to disagree, but I would argue that the money generated from flipping anything is that's just extracted. You've created no value for anyone. Did those people help, spread the good word of Decentraland? Perhaps, but I think there's lots of money just being made in the by unreasonably manipulating the controlled situation and taking advantage of people's technical ignorance. Or I'm not saying not all instances are bad, but I think there are definitely it takes a specific type of person to make all that money flipping land, and all of that money is you're just extracting value. You're not building anything of substance, and I think that it's it isn't harmless to artificially pump up the value of NFTs and then sell them to people. A lot of people with a bad taste in their mouth for the metaverse have it because they bought overvalued land from these that got hyped up by these land flippers. So it's arguable that they've hurt the platform more than they could have ever possibly helped it.
Yeah, I think they can hate. I think Mark Zuckerberg, what he did to the land price and the insanity in November 2021, but again, that was all of our choice. Nobody made me buy the land, although I'd like to blame it on somebody else. Nobody made me buy that. It was my own decision. And so I think that there's even people that are flipping wearables. I think there's value in that. If people are doing that and they're making an income and supporting themselves through buying and selling in the ecosystem, I don't know. I guess I just feel like that's keeping. I don't think people have to build to build the ecosystem up. They don't have to contribute. I didn't buy my land with the thought that I bought it with no expectation. I'm buying land. I'm going to create on it. I don't care. I don't need to make a profit on it. That's not why I did it.
Well, true. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're presenting a defense for a different type of person in action than I think what I am condemning, because I agree with you that there is, multiple types of reasons to buy land, and like you don't have, not everyone purchased their land to profit or flip, but like there is a type A person who is actively seeking out situations where that they can take advantage of people's technical ignorance and misguided understandings of how the platform works, and like overhype it to extract value for their personal gain without making any contribution. Because absolutely, someone like a Mary Shark who's in the marketplace buying from creators and then selling them on a secondary, that is absolutely putting liquidity in the pocket of artists and helping perhaps promote that their work to be sold by somebody who wouldn't have seen it, because what's Mary Shark selling? I think there's a lot of flaws within the UI of the marketplace that I think anyone brave enough to try to be a wearable flipper is probably probably deserves some of the money they made, since it's very hard to efficiently look through it to profit. But perhaps that's part of their business scheme that they are taking advantage of. So
well, all I'll say is I'm glad they're in the metaverse participating, I guess. And I also think about the gold rush, in the 1898 gold rush, the people that made the most money were the ones that were selling the shovels and the backpacks and all the supplies. They weren't the gold miners. But I do want to pivot because we've got Julianne, hopefully I said it right. And I believe it's been a while since we've heard you on our speaker panel. So welcome. How are you today?
Hey, I'm fine. Yeah, I see both of your points. I think that's kind of what makes NFTs kind of interesting and exciting, is that there's people building community and value, and there's also the thrill of a floor price rising. I think it's just a whole combination of things that makes it interesting.
Yeah, and I think those things, they fluctuate, they rise and fall, and I think we've seen sometimes where it's an inflated bubble, like the wearable market maybe back in 2021, 22, where now the prices are back down from reality. Yeah. Thank you, Julianne. Do you have more?
Yeah, I just wonder if there's an ideal amount of percent of people that what's the healthy amount that should be in your buying the NFTs? Like 3/4 should be community and value, and 25% are flippers. I just wonder what the healthy and fun, exciting enough amount is.
I mean, realistically, from my perspective, and I think it's primarily coming from being an ice poker owner who's just watched the trading channel of flippers. I don't think there's any community that has a large density of flippers that can possibly sustain the floor price. Because the business model is place lowball bids across the collection, find someone in a desperate need of money or a gambling addiction where they decide they're going to accept it, list it lower, and then that process just repeats. So anything more than 10%, I would think has to be and probably 5% is probably incredibly unsustainable from to make a project look like a sound investment, since lots of people, I don't think anyone should expect NFTs to be a great air quotes investment, but lots and lots of people in the space do look at it that way. And when they go to look at a project's chart, any one of them would act look at Deadfellas, they got blur flipped to the ground. I think Blur was actively responsible for harming a lot of projects' floors, because the added incentive of getting airdropped for extracting as much thin value as you could from a project is just it's incentivizing a race to the bottom.
Yeah, because I've said before that sometimes I might like to have one NFT be the forever NFT I keep. Maybe another one is maybe I give away in the future for something, and another one I might just sell to make a profit. I guess you could have different purposes for different NFTs.
Oh, totally. I don't think there's anything wrong with if you're in a project and you mint because I agree. I think when we all first got here, there was that you should always mint 3 of an NFT, because you're gonna have one you want to keep, like you said, and then you can have a couple that you can trade or sell in the future in the event that it's a super successful rocket shot to the moon. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that the type of NFT community member you are doesn't necessarily reflect if it's you don't instantly become a flipper just because you minted 2 so that you could sell one in the future possibly, but if everyone in the community is more focused on the potential value of the NFT than they are on the work that the community has committed to doing, or that the leadership is doing, that's when it becomes an issue. Because instead of being yeah, the DG team has shipped all these features and all this stuff to make the thing they promised, told us they're gonna make, that's cool. People are just floors down, team sucks. And it's like, that's ridiculous, guys. Like, no other project is like shipping as much as they are. Like, how are you yelling at them? Like, show me someone else shipping more. They're like, doesn't matter, man. We're down from all-time highs. We're down this much %. They're failures. And it's just like, that's not like, it's called results-oriented thinking. And I understand there is some value in that in the real world since there are tangible things. But like, when you're dealing with like, things that have a percentage of failure, because like if you take a path that has a 75% chance of making you a millionaire, there's still a 25% chance you fail. So like you can't necessarily like deem the entire thing like a complete waste or a Ponzi or a rug just because like you haven't reached the top of the mountain yet. And I think that the more flippers you have, the like harder it is to get the people to like focus on the like actual merits of what the team and project are doing, and instead like and that's also like I think a problem with the land. It's a reflective of that, where people were like imagined this amazing thing, they bought overhyped land, and now it's like going back down, and they're just like, DCL sucks because my land's down in value. And I'm like, well, no, that's not a fair argument. Like, I get why you're frustrated. Don't get me wrong, you were misled a little bit, but like the project itself isn't a failure just because you lost money buying that digital asset.
I think for me, like it's like some certain NFTs I like going down. It's not so much just it's going down. It's like, ooh, if I just waited a little longer, I could have bought more.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I think that a lot of the most frustratingly toxic conversations in NFT discords tend to be people unable to articulate that cognitive dissonance, because they're like, I'm still excited to be here, but I'm really upset I could have 100 times as much of this thing I'm excited to own.
Sometimes denial is just so much easier for life. At least when it comes to like FOMOing into NFT investments, it might just be the way that we like get through another day.
Yeah, and another thing too is like, I feel like when people decide to end up spending that money on the marketplace, like I really love seeing things sell out, even if multiple people did decide to buy that item. I really feel like it's not up to us to decide where people should spend their money at. I'm not out here checking people's pockets. Like that's something I don't do in the physical world. I'm not gonna do it in the digital world. I'm never gonna like check somebody if they decided to mint 2 or 3 of an item or whatever the case is. Like if that's what they've decided to do, whatever floats your boat, do your thing. And I actually like respect people that take that chance and that take that risk. And for me, like I'm a very conservative. You can call me a conservative investor. I'm not a person who's just like chucking money at everything I see come at my way when it comes to investments. Like I'm very like tedious and careful about that type of thing, because I feel like most people, I mean, I guess it's perceived that in the Web3 space, people are just throwing their money at whatever and hoping that it's going to 10x or 100x or whatever. But for me, it's like I've been more focused on, like, even though I'm building a brand, I'm still more focused on that personal connection that I can have with a fan base, or like a people that support and decide to spend their money on wearables, emotes, digital items that you can't physically touch and hold, but they can look at it as something that's valuable to them. So I really just love the concept of like building a brand or building something on a Web3 space, because it is something completely independent, completely unique, and it's like something that it can be done in so many different ways, and we're all kind of just figuring out and experimenting and stuff like that. But I love watching the people flip stuff, and I love watching people flip properties in the physical world, let alone the digital world. That's meow. Sorry, distract me.
See, but yeah,
I love all sides of things. I love the art side of things, and I do love the business side of things. And if you can find that balance between the two for yourself, that's how you can make this become a sustainable thing for yourself. It's not like a guarantee to become sustainable, because you still got to put the grind and you still got to put that work in to get to know all these people. But I feel like the time that I put in has been worth it for me. And I feel like if I can be the leader of showing what it's like to build a Web3 brand from the ground up with nothing, I didn't come here with, I didn't make $100,000 off of Shiba. I didn't make all these crazy gains off of things. Like I literally came grinding from literally investing on Robinhood for free with free stocks, and then like leveled up to like understanding what stocks were, and then they leveled up to crypto. And like that's our job as humans in our own household to level up our mindset to get into being a better businessman, or being a person who can understand how to flip something. It's not about necessarily doing it all the time, but it's at least like understanding it, because then we can use it as we want to decide how we want our brand to be run, whether it's more business oriented or whether it's more art oriented.
I agree with everything you're saying, except for I think there's two key distinctions I would make, because like the IRL house flipping, like I don't think that's a fair one-to-one, because like when you flip a house in the real world, like you invest time, energy, and skills in like improving it. Usually, obviously, there are some instances where a person buys a house from a person who doesn't appreciate what they have and then just immediately flips it. But most of the time, that there's like you're putting craftsman energy and skill into improving it before profiting. So it's a slightly different thing. And the other thing is like I think that like flippers, in the sense of like artificially maintaining a market, are undercutting it like they would like on a secondary market on OpenSea, versus like someone like Mary Shark, who mints out half of like a Doki drop because she believes in Doki and is like, Doki, you undersold it, and I'm gonna like, that's a little different, because that money's going right into the pocket of the artist. And while like you could make an argument that like, oh, they're stealing from the artist, like I don't know any artist who's gonna be upset if someone buys out all their work. So like I think there is a slight difference, because like it's like intent and kind of like where you're at. But otherwise, I generally agree with everything you said about how like there is some element of personal responsibility, and people should be like trying to level up, and how it is, and like in championing someone like yourself who like came from free Robinhood stocks to grinding on your not as good PC in the metaverse, winning a metaverse PC, becoming like the badass DG who works for, like, that is a good story, and I don't something that should be championed. Where if it was like, yeah, that's Trax, like, he sold a bunch of garbage NFTs to someone because he did for money, like that wouldn't be as cool, like to buy his computer, like that would be lame. But like, yeah, like hard work and hustle, absolutely. So, and it could just be maybe that like we need to better find ways to articulate the hard work and hustle of the air quote land flippers that I take umbrage with, because maybe there is a way to sell it that I would find noble and exciting. But it mostly just feels like taking advantage of technological idiots in a hype bubble where like most of the land's controlled.
No, I agree, man. And I really love seeing content, and I really think that more people should do this if you're comfortable doing it. But I think that more people have to talk about what's actually happening here in the metaverse, not just like posting videos of them running around it, but like actually like putting voiceovers over things and like actually like explaining like, hey, this is Doki. She makes hair, makeup, and all these really dope wearables. She had a Doki pass that 30 plus people bought. Like, this is and I'm really into that type of stuff. When I watch Web3 content, I love seeing like videos with like green screen backgrounds and like just like more like hands-on content that can actually explain like, hey, look what all these people are actually doing, and this is what we've been doing for over almost 2 years now.
Yeah, content used to explain why like the Dokis and Yous of the world are like making their metaverse dreams come true, I think would be fantastic. I think that like encouraging people to want to be like land flippers, less good, because like Doki literally reinvented the way people look at themselves in Decentraland, and like that's dope. And literally there are hundreds of ways to do that. Like, so there's things I couldn't even think to suggest because I'm not that good. But like someday someone Doki 2.0 is gonna come in and like all of a sudden we're all gonna be like, holy shit, guys, can you believe we didn't have this before? Now it's everywhere, and I couldn't possibly leave home without it. So yeah, like I agree with that. Like hype those people up, you guys. But I'll shut up now. Meta DJ wants to talk.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Awesome.
Yep.
Great conversation. I think this is really interesting, and it actually, it's funny because last night I almost like tweeted about this concept of I'm personally experiencing a paradigm shift. Like, I entered the market NFTs a year and a half ago or so with kind of the speculative appreciation investment thesis, floor price raise. You go through like the Bored Ape Yacht Club mania, right? And then everyone thinks all of their 10,000 PFP projects are going to go to the moon. So that was kind of the trap I initially fell under, or of course just buying cool artwork that's an NFT and supporting the growth of space. But for me recently, I've been focusing more on, instead of NFTs as a speculative asset that has the potential of appreciating or going to zero, more as a tool or a resource that's helping me along my Web3 journey. And what I mean by that is, recently, and shout out to Meg down there for inspiring me to do this, I got an apartment at the Meta Residencies to get my own space. Kanessa had mentioned earlier, she was getting it strictly as a place to build. Or for instance, I had some leftover scraps of mana. I started buying wearables, things that are tangible to me now that I'm using as my form of expression in this space. And what's nice about it, though, is because it's an NFT, I have a little more power over the identity of controlling it, but B, there is the prospect that value, if anything, can be preserved maybe it's less, maybe it's more, but it can be exchanged on a decentralized marketplace, which excites me. But to me, I'd rather focus more on when I'm getting an NFT now, what can I use out of it right now versus let me get it and speculate, maybe it gains value for me. So I'm more excited in buying NFTs for their use case right now rather than what that value could be down the line, or even caring if it has value down the line from a monetary perspective. So just wanted to chime in.
Do you happen to know if you were to send someone your Meta Tower Residence NFT, does it stay as you designed it, or does it go back to zero?
I don't know.
I wonder. Now I want to ask that.
I don't know if it goes back to zero. I know, and we have Makeup here. He may know more. Really, it's a lot of it truly feels like an apartment experience where a lot of it is it's all like pre-built. You don't need to code in to build it. But there are some assets you need to purchase. So maybe Make would be able to touch on it more. But I just wanted to chime in the fact that, you know, I'm buying these because I'm tangibly using them.
Oh yeah, I know. I love what they're doing over there. I was super happy that I got to stumble into that, and they gave me one because I tweet too much. I think what they're doing is super cool. Though I have heard, though, they actually have a grant request right now in the forums, which I think everyone should go to the forums and be more active. Liz666, I believe, she actually made a good argument why she's voting no, because she thinks their additional costs are a little too heavy. So I think that there's probably some middle ground, because I appreciate the plight of the designer trying to make something that works in DCL, and I imagine that because her argument was well, I gotta pay $10 to put my NFT on my picture, and $30 for video, but it's also what is the server cost of that? Are they fronting a server bill forever? There's so I definitely think there's some middle ground on that stuff. But
it is true. The time you put in, right? And that's the whole thing. In historical past, you play a game, you build something, you build a home in a game, right? You always have the risk of a centralized system, which in theory, meta residence, I don't know the full inner workings of it, but in theory, what if meta residencies is no more? And then all that time and NFTs and things goes away. So that is something to think about compared to maybe a more conventional parcel, but there's pros and cons, right? And my example wasn't particular to meta residency.
Oh, yeah,
what I was saying is just, that's an example, right? Where I'm buying it, I'm using it now, and I could care less if it maintains its value because it has a different use case for me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you that especially as we go towards the play to earn, air quotes, or play to own future, that people should be looking more at these as buying a game skin instead of buying the Mona Lisa that you can wear on your digital legs. Because yes, some game skins will go on to be crazy Call of Duty collectibles, but in general, you're just buying a thing that no one is going to want in it's 2 months. So just accept that. Have fun.
Well, and I think we do have to look at NFTs. Not all NFTs are created equal, or at least a land NFT is different than a PFP NFT, and that's different than a wearable L1 NFT. Oh my gosh, it's like alphabet soup. But they're not gonna they're based on the same blockchain technology, but they're so different that they're they're just such a different beast. So I'm just thinking even people that are on Web3 Twitter, buying and selling NFTs, those are totally different than what we're doing with them. We're building on ours, we're wearing them, we're emoting them. So in this world, it is it's just being redefined so quickly. Make, you've got your hand up. How are you?
Hey, Ganesha, Sinful, Shelly. Dude, everybody's here. Rustan, Jared, it's finally good to see you again in a space where we can actually say hi. First and foremost, I want to thank DJ Trax for showing me the meta residency. He is definitely, I walked in there and I was like, yes. I mean, honestly, I was on Alt Space and always away from you guys in DCL. And I found by getting this, I have a little place in Decentraland to be with my friends. And that's all it meant to me. It felt like I was finally putting in. Maybe I'm not a full builder. Maybe I can't afford a parcel right now. I spent $10,000 on an Alt Space VR platform that no longer exists. But I have a little space that I can have you guys over to my house, and now Meta DJ's a neighbor, and Biometa's a neighbor. We got the 92nd floor gang coming, and I feel like I'm part of it. So even if they rug, or even if it's too expensive to put up an NFT, I'm part of the community now in a little way, and it makes me really happy to be with you guys. So more than anything, when Track showed me that possibility where I could keep rolling and I could come to one of your parties and then go to my house, it means the world to me, and you guys do too. And that's what it means to me to own that thing. So to get into the weeds about it not being it's like if I go buy a parcel and then somehow figure out or spend another 10 grand to get everything built up, then there's all that activity. But now I'm just in and I'm just hanging out, and I feel like it's a nice way to support, even if it's not the full build. It's definitely something to have. So there's one, and I know True Brand's about to do 24 hours, but we are having a little gathering tomorrow night at the space. And if you happen to have,
it's okay though. It's after the literally as soon as the 24 hours will have just ended.
And you know what? The
after
reality
party.
is,
After party.
how about this? It's also the fact that there are 7 days in the week, my friends, and we are all trying to just keep moving. I got 2 kids and a wife that I have to schedule my wife to stay home from work to pick up the kids so I can have people over. We all do the best we can, you know? I think that's the main thing we should always remember. But what I was going to say, if you happen to have a VR headset and you haven't used it, we're also going to be doing VR ping pong. Meta DJ is going to spin, and we got a type of PO app for y'all. We've got and I don't mean to show, but we're going to do an AR asset for that everybody can use for the event. And more than anything, I am so stoked to finally have a place, even if it's not the most ideal or perfect, to be with you guys. It means the world to me. So I just want to say thank you, and I'm happy to be growing with y'all.
92nd floor gang, let's go.
Thank you.
92nd floor gang.
Thank you for being here. I gotta go out and explore. I haven't made it that far, but it definitely sounds interesting. A lot of cool stuff to check out. Rustan?
Hey, yeah. So, not to bring it back to pizzas, but I just got to update the community on this. I just got 2 emails from CoinDesk, asking about the proposal.
They want pizza.
One of them is Cameron Thompson. Hi, Paul. I'm a reporter at CoinDesk. I saw your post. Snapshot. Am I the said person? Is this happening? Would love some more details. Best Cam. And the other one is Daniel Nelson. LOL, better be a good pizza. Daniel Nelson, managing editor, data and tokens at CoinDesk.
See, so they get it.
So yeah, so I wanted to bring this up with the community to make decisions. Like here's an opportunity to make it a scripted publicity stunt. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in control of this.
Could you email them back and see if it would be okay if you could like drop those emails in the forums under the proposal? In a way to show.
Yeah, I mean, I could do whatever you guys recommend. Like, like this is untapped territory for me. Basically, usually I do these things on my own without permission. So now it's.
Right, but you should send 37 Domino's pizzas, but then 1 gourmet pizza for the person who asked politely.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't we start a dialogue with them? Like, document the dialogue to have both parties consent, everything is good, and then like we can get our publicity and have our pizza and eat it too, and everybody's happy, even me.
Basically, I mean, their whole motivation, the only thing CoinDesk really ever cares about is clicks. That's what they want. So they obviously see the viral potential in what I'm trying to set up here, you know. And so it sounds like Cameron Thompson wants to write about this, you know, but I haven't responded yet. I haven't, you know, made any connections. I'm leaving it to you guys to help me decide what to do, basically.
I feel like Cameron was the one who wrote the original article. I feel like that was him. I don't know. I might be wrong.
I thought it was Tracy.
Oh, yeah.
Cameron Thompson is a female. Daniel Nelson
Tracy
is the
with
managing
skank
editor.
leak for that.
Rustan, could you paint somebody to look like a pizza and she could deliver it?
Well, now you're asking me to do work.
You know
I'm
what?
not trying to do work. This is supposed to be
ask for a
easy.
big enough grant for that.
I will paint pizzas on her. It'll
Yeah,
look awesome.
I'm gonna have to increase the grant number.
Hey, Rustan. So, like, as we've been talking about this, I even thought of like the idea. I heard that like someone wrote a article about the event that's going on here on the 18th for True Stage. Why? Like, it could even be an idea that we could send like as a community send pizza or whatever the fuck to like these publishers that write good stuff about the Decentraland, like as a thank you.
Right, like
Hate pizza
anything
gets
is
way more
possible.
clicks than positive pizza.
Also, Blease and Colorful reached out to be there when the delivery is happening.
See, we have the New York meetup already, like trying to brew together, so everyone get yourself to the DAO and post your thoughts in the forums, and yeah.
Rustan, have you reached out to Domino's?
Lastrom reached out to Domino's when he first built the kiosk, and they kind of scoffed at him, and then they dropped their Domino's metaverse build last year through another builder.
But this time we're giving them money.
So, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, Domino's is like on their own.
But this time we'll be paying them. When this could be a good opportunity for them to form a partnership with the
I'm saying. Like,
whenever...
it's a good opportunity for everyone involved. I think personally, it helps everybody. I mean, Domino's to deliver. We're gonna leave a fat tip for the delivery guy. I forgot to mention that in the grant, but yeah, like I don't see a way that anybody really loses. But it's definitely helpful to get CoinDesk involved in it. I'm just not used to organized publicity stunts. I work usually from disorganized, chaotic publicity.
Rustan, International Friendship Day is July 30th this year. Could we just turn it into like a really good, like Campbell's soup commercial, like feel good, like a Super Bowl style commercial where at the end everybody's super happy and Domino's and CoinDesk and Decentraland all just love each other in the end, and it goes viral and Domino's pays for the airtime for it to go on like ABC and like big television, stuff like that. Could you make that happen?
I mean, I think anything is possible. This is community-wide effort, really. My name just happens to be at the front of it.
Well, Pizza Day is February 9th. That's a little too long to wait.
I mean, I would see if you can continue that conversation. Perhaps ask for permission, like I mentioned, to like post that on the forums, because for all the naysayers that are like are looking at the bad side of things, maybe if they see an actual person from CoinDesk, message from them saying like this better be a good pizza, or like I would like to know more, like doesn't that show interest? If we were to send the pizza, we wouldn't be trolling them, we'd be feeding them.
You know what we should do is have one of those things where you can like, could we go and make the pizzas for them, and then we could like, that would be so cool if we could actually go. Sometimes organizations do that. They let you come in and like, for a fundraiser thing, they let you take over. So we could go
If we're going to overcomplicate this, I say we paint the CEO. Rustan paints the CEO, and he delivers the
No, but
pizza.
like, don't forget the main original goal is to celebrate Bitcoin Crypto Pizza Day, National Pizza Day. And the whole point is not just ordering pizzas with crypto, but ordering it from inside the metaverse with your avatar. Not picking up a phone, not going to a website to ordering, but to actually use the last slice Domino's pizza kiosk and order it through the metaverse and sending it to our friends at CoinDesk.
I think it could be a very good collaborative effort. I mean, even like from your end, recording yourself taking the or putting in the order, and then like to like IRL footage of the the pizza man walking into the building, and if they allow us, maybe even like be on the second floor, like in their office, like just recording them receiving the delivery. You know, it could and then since you're already like in contact with about two of these individuals, like it could even be something that they can promote themselves, and you know, make it something bigger.
Exactly. I mean, I see like all these pieces being involved in it, and then like the community after the fact. You have this viral content that can be placed anywhere. It could be put on your Twitch stream. It could be put in YouTube channels. It could be put in Reddit, whatever, to spread the word. And that's the whole main original goal, is to celebrate Bitcoin and Crypto Pizza Day, but also draw eyes to Decentraland and the apparently 38 users that did this.
I'm bullish. Zesty, did you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, as one of the aforementioned naysayers, I like this update.
Finally, we have Zesty on board. Mr. Naysayer. You hate.
I mean,
You
honestly,
just hate
I was
don't you?
really disheartened when he wasn't on board to start with, because I don't know if you know this, he's a Ruston fanboy. He owns his physical work, so for him to be anti the idea, he had to really mean it. So it was a real bummer.
We got to write number 38 out in pepperonis, all right? At least on one of the pizzas. It has to happen.
That's why I wanted to make the pizzas. I was going to make all sorts of cool designs and make it look like Decentraland. Guys, we could make it look like that with the pepperoni. And
that was perfect. That'd be perfect.
To make the colors. I guess I have to fly to New York.
New York road trip.
Jay Griff can deliver the pizzas. He's in. I think he's in New York. Or if not, then OSB VMT can possibly deliver those, or Blease, or Carol, or I'm trying to think of anybody else who lives in New York. That's the top of my head.
Everyone.
Just a heads up. I lived in New York City for almost 18 years, but currently reside in Boulder County, Colorado.
I don't know why I always forget that. That was just me drawing blank. That's just being up too early, too much weed, too much coffee. Well, actually, I haven't had coffee. That's the problem. I have too much weed, not enough coffee. I need to balance it out like Shelly.
Hey, Trax, by the way, now I live on the 92nd floor. Gang.
Yo, listen, I don't think y'all realize how freaking cool the Meta Residence Tower is. It's definitely something I feel like people should check out. It's not something that you should buy to try to flip or anything like that. It's just something that if you want to have a build and you're not really good with Builder, and you want to have things like auto dance floors and all these like party lights, and like you can get all that stuff for like way more of a fraction of a price than it is to hire a dev. Just to even put auto dance on a floor costs a lot of money from what I remember back when I was first looking at it. But you can get auto dance, lighting, furniture, all types of stuff for really, really cheap compared to what you have to do is to spend on a build and like learn all that stuff too, which I think is valuable too. But I really think the Meta Residence Tower is super underrated, and I think people should check it out for sure.
Do y'all mind if I pin up our flyer, Kinessa and Sinful?
You mean your party for Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, exactly after the true 24-hour contest starts?
That makes me feel so much better, because I really got upset. Mariana was like, "No, you can't do it." And I'm like, "Oh God, I'm gonna." It's 24
No, it's technically
hours.
the perfect time.
A couple. All right.
Definitely after party vibes at the penthouse. Pull up to the penthouse, 92nd floor. You have to go to Sector A. There's two sectors. There's Sector A, Sector B. Both, like each sector has 5,000 rooms. Just so you guys know. So there's
so don't buy them to flip. There are 10,000. They come in multiple sizes and ranging of prices. So please.
No, there is, but I really I think it's something that is really just like fun to have. It's not definitely not an investment thing I should people would recommend. I'm not a financial advisor. I leave that up to Virtual Dan. Like Virtual Dan can actually say I am a financial advisor. Like I don't think anybody's ever actually said that in the Web3 space. Which I really love what we do on Tuesday.
The ones who are willing to say they are financial advisors, they give the most boring advice, though. Good advice. But that's never like YOLO your life savings into that JPEG. Never. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's definitely not the wave that Virtual Dan's on at all. He's more just like stocks, bonds, investments, and things you can save your money doing. But you actually really can learn a lot from him, and I really hope that everybody can pull up on Tuesdays. We do a financial class on Tuesdays that I think is really valuable. We have a very small crowd every week, so you get personal. You get to talk to him in the chat box. You literally ask him on personal DMs. Like, he's a real cool dude. I really feel like people look over that just because of he's a financial advisor that people think like, oh, Web 2, but it's like, no, he's in this. He has land. He's buying land everywhere. He's buying a bunch of unique wearables. He's created, like, his whole head is literally a unique wearable. He has unique eyes, unique mouth, eyebrows, and hair. I don't know why he didn't just make it one giant head, but he literally made it all unique wearables. So his heart's in this, and he really loves doing this. So make sure you guys pull up on Tuesdays. We do it every Tuesday, 1:30 Pacific time. Definitely come through for that.
Speaking of things you should go to, right now there is a sit and go poker metaverse event going on, so you could jump in and play some ice poker sit and goes. This is your weekly DG show. This is an unofficially DG sponsored podcast.
I've been waiting for that.
So, have you been waiting 8 minutes since the event has been going on for 8 minutes?
No,
and I only noticed 2 minutes ago.
I've been waiting for the weekly DG show.
Well, I mean,
the space is complete.
Statistically, despite the fact that most of the people in this Discord probably didn't come here via DG, surprisingly, statistically, it's factually accurate that the majority of the people who entered Decentraland entered via going to Decentral Games first. Now they might all be total degenerates, but
I can look at my targets in this audience and know which one of you guys I roped in hook, line, and sinker, and now you're playing at Diamond Hand City. So, who's next? Who needs delegation? Who can play poker?
Yeah, I think I'm still. I'm probably going to be your most egregious example for a while, Kanessa.
You're up there.
But in the pyramid scheme of life, though, that like since she got you and then you got Fancy, ergo Fancy plays ice poker because of Kanessa. So and then whoever goes Fancy plays, I should play. They're in the umbrella.
Can I just talk to GG about getting some pyramid scheme going on, where they get 10%, but then the next person gets 5%. I mean, I could really do well with
100%. If they ever do any kind of referral program where people get a percentage of banked ice lost, you should 100% get some percentage of anything Zesty ever loses at the casino, because for sure you were the gateway drug that brought him.
I'll go ahead and state again. The way I pitched it to Fancy was I basically fudded the fuck out of the project.
Listen, this is the DG shill hour. This isn't the DG. Here's all the things you should think about to make a factually informed decision. Because of course, nothing's a perfect investment. You are buying clothes in the metaverse, sir. Let's not truth in advertising.
But
what price can you put on a crown? I mean, do you want to look like royalty or don't you? These are not factual decisions. These are purely emotional. A couple times in your life, you should let emotions take over and make that purchase.
I feel like Virtual Pan could teach us a thing or two.
What I'm saying though, Jared, is confirmed human garbage like Gabe would never let me hear the end of it.
Oh, you know how to say things just the way I won't be able to correct them. But yeah, I mean, I think, but really though, you're just framing it that way because you knew that Fancy, likes pain, so that you were just giving him the hard sell in a way that you knew he would take. You're
so in other words,
you're gonna lose money and you're gonna look good doing it. And he was just God damn it, you're speaking my language.
In other words, I'm being accused of 4D chess.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I do have both versions of Fourth Dimension minted, so fuck it. I guess I'll own it.
You're a nerd.
I'm so excited. We might be sending pizza. Maybe. Sorry, I like pizza.
Listen here, first off, I mean, we are sending pizza. You guys just don't know it yet because you guys are, not as fun. You're all oh, we don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Hey,
man, I get my feelings hurt on a daily basis.
If you could
For the
talk to their
record-
moms first and make sure that it's okay and that they've got like a
Yeah,
strong
like if-
support system, I can get behind it. But I don't want to be responsible for hurting anybody.
But earlier, I forgot to mention it, but did someone say that like referring to the baby dolls as scantily clad was like bullying or rude? Because like, if it is, then I apologize, but like, I thought that was the point of those cool, like the fun pink with the garter belt thing. Like, I feel like scantily clad is like, not like an inherently derogatory term. It's just like, hey, you're dressing provocatively in a fun fashion, right? Isn't that like an acceptable thing to say?
But the article wasn't as nice as you just kind of mentioned it.
I mean, that's fair. I guess if it was like, like if it was calling them like, more, if it was further beyond that, trying to, be, sex shaming or whatever the terminology in the, context is, then that's not cool because that's silly. I can understand how, someone coming from like a Mennonite background might be like, well, that feels like it's, taking advantage of the ladies. But then you realize like, oh, it's a group entirely, well, not entirely because of Father Finn, but 90% women doing women things that they're happy and comfortable with. My man voice doesn't matter. And but I can understand how at first glance a uptight, Midwesterner might go like, whoa, digital boobies.
Whoa there, cowboy. Whoa there. I see One Existence. Your hand is up. Welcome. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Real quick, hey, Julianne, it's good to see you. It's been I haven't seen you around for quite a while. Glad you're still out here with us. But I think we're missing one other big key aspect to this whole pizza thing. Imagine what else could happen if Domino's catch winds of this. Imagine a commercial as well of those pizzas being delivered or something.
Or it just being posted on their Twitter. Yeah, I mean, totally. It could be the start of something beautiful with Domino's. We could make friends with Domino's peoples.
Can we make friends with Pizza Hut? Not that Pizza Hut is better food, but the stuffed crust is better. If we're going to sell out for cheap corporate pizza, I want to sell out for stuffed crust.
The Decentraland special.
Are you going to get into a pizza debate fight?
No, I mean, honestly, Pizza Hut pizza is inedible if you don't get stuffed crust. Like, otherwise their crust is awful. So anyway, I'm not going to allow it. And then, obviously, neither is good pizza. But, they're acceptable if you're drunk enough.
I think
or,
you're
intoxicated enough.
I think you're
Rustam, what are the chords? What are the chords for the Domino's kiosk? I've never seen it. I've like always been to all the Last Slice stuff, but I've never been to the actual location. I'm not sure if you know the exact chords.
I'm sure maybe he will either message them to you or request to come up to speak shortly. And what do we have? He's coming.
I think you're mixing up your pizzas there, Jared.
How so?
You're redeployed there, and you'll be able to order pizza for yourself at the party. And the dialogue right now is happening that it's going to be at Baby Dolls, but we'll see. Nothing's final yet. But Monday is going to be a party, and you'll be able to order a pizza with manna from what's looking like it's going to be Baby Dolls. If not, it might be a Last Slice build.
All right. In your correspondence with CoinDesk, I humbly request that you get them to agree to not include any images of that hideous Last Slice pizza outfit. Because I'm sorry, I'm firmly on the record, but I hate that outfit so much. It is like so cringily 1990s Ninja Turtles like acid trip gone wrong. Because there's no good publicity comes with that.
It's pretty cool if you mix it with other stuff, though. If you get creative and mix it with other wearables.
Them pizza sneakers are elite. You can't.
No,
Come on.
No, man, you're killing me.
I got a pair from last year. I've cherished those things. I'm like, yes, I got the Last Slice sneakers. Let's go.
I remember rocking my Last Slice suit all during the 2021 Metaverse Music Festival, and I felt like a king.
You know what? Like, I can see it in that like dystopian cyberpunk, concert vibe. I can see the Pizza Ninja Warrior like being working, but I don't know. I don't know why. Like obviously it is subjective, but I just hate it so much. But who made it too? Because I know it's I believe whoever made it is someone I have respect for. I remember being like, "Wait, you made it? No."
It is someone. It is someone. I can't remember exactly who it is, but it is someone deserves major respect. Yes.
It was like when I was once on stream with Nikki talking about the cockroach skin you banned and how much I hate it, and that's when I found out Nikki made it. But like, fortunately, the context was it was like you did a really good job making the cockroach. That's why I hate it. So she was cool
Very
about
true.
it.
Very, very true. I'm
like,
currently like right now I'm responding to CoinDesk, and I'm carefully choosing my words, but I'm gonna send. I'm basically I'm saying that we don't have a specific name at CoinDesk yet to send it to, and still need to generate the number of votes to make it happen. And I'm gonna extend would CoinDesk accept this happening and want to be a part of this setup, and you tell me the name to send it to, and can I post screenshots of your message in the forum, basically, is what I'm going to get at. Better worded,
Yeah,
but
you're asking for consent. That should therefore absolutely, invalidate any prankiness of it, but then therefore also invalidate any you're gonna bullying them with dildos. So win.
Well, I'm going to put PS, can I send dildos to?
Of course, yeah, I mean, obvious. You should paint them, though. Oh, man. That is, like, a side hustle you should get into. You could probably make bank selling painted dildos and fleshlights.
To the
not to be used.
No, for purely for aesthetic appreciation. You should not... First off, I once worked on a movie where I saw someone bought a latex dildo because it needed to be painted white, but that's where we learned you can't paint latex with latex-based paint. So keep that in mind, everyone. Or maybe it's you need latex-based paint to paint latex. Either way, if you ever have to paint a dildo, you should research.
You can't actually paint like on the legs of Barbie dolls. I ended up having to use spray paint once. It was like the only thing that worked.
In hindsight, they should.
Just in case you guys are planning to do that in the future.
These are the tips and tricks you learn along the way as artists. Two renowned painters such as ourselves. You with your body of work, me with that one dildo I helped paint one time. That's a true story. I'm trying to remember. Is that the movie where I taught Danny Trejo what Hakuna Matata means? Yeah, that was the one. That was a weird movie.
This is great. I thought we had a new speaker, but I guess not. Maybe I was tripping. Just a quick reset of the room. I see a lot of new faces down in the listeners. Welcome. This is our weekly Decentraland community building Twitter space. If you would like to come up and ask any questions about Decentraland, please feel free to do so, and we will answer them. We have a panel of speakers that are very knowledgeable here in the space, so yeah, anyone's welcome. And on that note,
is D-Seal Curation still here? I think I saw him in there once. He has some interesting thoughts on the way the budget is set up. He's very frustrated because there's only $55,000 left in the in-world content category until June 1st when the next category restarts. Which, for some reason in my brain, I was thinking that the next quarter started in May. Which, when you remember there are 12 months and May's the 5th month, that's a dumb thing to think. But that was the thing I'd been thinking for some reason. So, because he wants to do another grant for the continuation, finishing off the curation station, virtual library, and he was frustrated that basically you can't do it, even though he wouldn't need $55,000 because his whole grant is going to be for 10 months for 110 or something ish. But so he was just wait, I can't even submit now, even though there's plenty of money to be used. So I think there's lots of interesting conversations about ways to optimize and improve the DAO budgeting system. That could be fun, super fun. Doesn't everyone love talking about budgeting? Just me? Mariana, get up here. We need to talk about budgets, even if you are working and can't.
Hey, Jared, can we go
She's
back
actually
to
making
painting
a budget
dildos?
right now. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Oh, I was kidding. I said, can we go back to painting dildos? It
That's
was
a good
joke.
joke, though. Yeah, that's. I would imagine a more dinner friendly conversation that most people would want to have than trying to discuss budgeting a $100 million enterprise. Is everyone here familiar with I think it's like called the bike shed principle, or it might be like the bike shed and silo principle? But basically, if you like present people like a plan to make like a missile silo, like most people are just gonna like kind of not say anything and be like, yeah, like I defer to that one expert over there. But if you present a plan, that same group of people a plan, like, okay, we got to put a bike shed on the other side of the school. Everyone's gonna have an opinion, because like you can imagine, like you've built things before, like it's easier to have an opinion on like low expertise topics. So and I think you can really see that reflected a lot in the DAO. Like, you submit a grant request to be tweeting, you're gonna get a lot of heat from people being like, that's ridiculous, we're gonna pay you to tweet. But if you're doing like, oh, I want to implement e-commerce backends with major platforms, people are like, those are words I don't fully understand, but like it sounds cool, so thumbs up, guy, good luck. And I think that's kind of a common issue that we need to like get people more comfortable engaging on the topics, and like, I don't know.
I think as you're right, and as people become more experienced in like the DAO, they're gonna have more people are gonna have more opinions to share, which is wonderful. But we've got Mariana up here, and I'm sure Mariana is like out busy actually, like balancing a budget probably for millions or maybe billions of dollars.
Yeah, something like that.
Awesome.
I'm currently reviewing my hospital's increasing AR aging. But
yeah, we know what that means. Totally know what that means.
People are not paying their bills is what it means. But yeah,
you know what, actually this is excellent. I've been wanting to talk to someone who can defend medical billing practices, and this is the perfect venue and place to grill Mariana about the cost of an ibuprofen in the ER.
Yeah, hospital pricing can be kind of out of the ordinary these days, but like there's a lot of like governmental contracts too to offset it, but it's still like, yeah,
technically you're not responsible for deciding what anything costs.
No,
you just
no.
calculate it, so it would be very unfair to hold you accountable for everything wrong with the American medical system.
Yeah, well, with proper controls in place, I'm not the one able to make those decisions.
Would you still have a job in a single-payer healthcare system?
Well, how about the fact that ER employees are the least paid in the medical field?
Is that true? I mean, that makes sense, because like that's probably the job no one wants. So it's probably the job where they put like the majority of the noobs. Because they're like, listen, I don't want to be here at 3 a.m. on a Saturday dealing with car accident, drunk driving victims. Like, that's, Johnny year one's problem, right? Not that, like, that's a reassuring thought, but that makes sense to me.
Can't speak on salaries, but...
or staffing choices, probably.
Right. But yeah, I'm actually at the office right now.
She's like, Jesus Christ, guys, I just wanted to talk about the metaverse.
I'm just, you guys, you're on like my AirPods right now. But like, I'm just chilling. But yeah, I mean, to the grant thing, I mean, I see where Creations is coming from, but I also see where the DAO is coming from. Like, they have a quarterly, I would almost call it more so a capital expenditure budget, like in a certain period. So like, that's how I see it. But if we want to do it like the Creations way of like having a allocated amount per month, then there's gonna have to be more accountability in place. With like, it would be treated almost like as like a more so like a, not an endowment fund, but there's like different funds that you can set up. Each like grant would be set up as a fund, and then you have to like make sure that there's enough. It's pretty much like a grant liability account is what would happen, and you would have to like make sure there's enough mana or DAI in the exchanges to like cover that next whatever payment. So like if we do it that way, or the way that creations posted a photo in the DAO, you would have to make sure there's an accrual set up for that fund to make sure it's like covered or able to be paid, which I mean, we know it's able to be paid, but you know, then you're factoring how much mana is worth and all that kind of stuff. So.
Well, yeah, I think the main issue with making the change he was suggesting is that you would have to have like a much more conservative budget, because like you need to like, because of the nature of the way the vesting contract works, I don't know if, to sum it up for everyone who might not know, there's 222 million mana allocated to the DG treasury, and it is released over a 10-year contract every second. So like every second there's more mana to be claimed, but it's, you know, spread out. So it's only like up to the tune of 5.5 million a year. So the budget is, per quarter.
Did you say DG?
I might have said DG. I've been talking about DCL, and everything I meant to say was referring to DCL, but yeah, mana. So the DCL DAO gets 22 million mana every year, and then the budget is calculated based off of getting that 5.5 million mana every quarter, and then timesing it by, you know, the value of mana, and then like 5.7 just to like, you know, save a little bit to not spend everything you're taking in. Now that's how much is the potential budget. Now they spent way less than that in quarter one, and they're on track to probably not spend most of several categories. So like the overall spend will be way less than 70% of the total mana possible. But that's kind of why it's set up quarterly, though, is because mana fluctuates, you know, pretty drastically, and you don't want to like plan on commit to a bunch of things in January that you can no longer afford, because by the time you got the mana and the ability to flip it or sell it, it's, you know, there's not enough money. So to do like a full year, you would need to like really tone down and be like, okay, we're going to spend like a quarter of what we could maybe spend just to make sure that we don't possibly run out, and kind of like save up a little bit of a nest egg to be working off of. And like the argument I think someone like a Lastrom would make is that, like, you know, being in a competing market, like, you know, battling companies like Facebook spending billions of dollars, you don't necessarily want to like take your foot off the gas, because, you know, so that would be the argument against. I'm not sure which side is the correct answer. I went to film school, but those are the kind of the facts.
I think we're all still learning about this as like a DAO. Like, I mean, this is the first time they've ever even, you know, budgeted for anything. So, and I'm kind of curious. Like, I think they do this reassessment every quarter, or like, I wonder if they do like this like 5.5 determination a year, and then whatever. I know they like adjusted that every quarter, but like, I wonder like if they'll do like a reassessment of these categories. Like, if they're seeing that, you know, over 6 months everyone is requesting in-world content, then maybe they should, you know, increase that allocation and reduce the platform initiative, since nothing ever comes in for that. So that's, you know, that's something that's still in the process. Maybe they'll like, you know, do some more budgeting research on that.
I feel like they should offer bounties for the documentation category, and then they said like someone should just force HP to like take all the stuff in his head and like work with one other person and document it. Because I feel like part of the issue, it feels like, is that there's just like a general gap in between the people who know how to improve the platform best and everyone else. Because like whenever, like, you know, whenever you see HP say no to something, you're like, well, why, HP? As a person who doesn't know anything with the platform, it'd be really cool to have that. He's like, well, we already have it. It's here in the repository. Like, go look.
I like what they're doing now with the bidding and tendering. There's a proposal right now that all the DCL documentation on how to do everything needs translated into different languages. The proposal is not to do it, if I'm understanding it correctly, but it's to, so to speak, quote, create a job that people can bid on to do this task. And I do believe it's something that that should be done. So in a way that's controlling our costs too. If you have people bidding to do the job,
that's true, but then you have to do like an effective job of like advertising these opportunities, because like it could vary. Like, I agree with you that it is like a good thing, and I think that like net positive for the like, and is a good implementation, but it's super easy to abuse if it's like, you know, continues to be kind of like a small controlled space without getting like, you know, maximum talent kind of in the pool, like talking about it and bidding their time. it could just super easily just be a way for like a Rob L like figure with their 4 million mana to like just like reward their friends. I don't know.
I wish it were 4 million mana.
VP, damn, yeah. I mean, he wishes it was 4 million mana.
Oh yeah, he's tried to sell it multiple times, of course.
He has fielded offers to sell it multiple times. It is not technically confirmed he would, sadly, because we can't be sure. But I bet, based on, it seems like he would have.
But just on that note, the next stage of that proposal has just been submitted this morning.
Morph DM'd me that too, and I got distracted. Thank you, Kanessa. Good call. Yeah. Did you know? Has anyone ever been made a co-author of a proposal before that you didn't write? Because it's weird. Because like when you first log in, at the very top, it'll just be like, "You're made a They say you're a co-author of this. Can you confirm?" Kind of a thing. You're just like, oh. Feels like weirdly responsible. Especially since the person it's about definitely at one point said they would sue whoever they could that lived in America if this ever went through. So thanks, Morph. Thanks for that. It's fine. It's totally cool. I mean, honestly, though, if someone was to waste their time suing me, that would just be an embarrassing use of your funds because there is nothing to take. So, joke's on you. That's why I should apply for the grants committee.
Jelly, I am trying to accept your request, and it says it's not working, and that's like a travesty. So maybe send it again, and I'm not sure, or leave the room and come back. But
well, there might be too many of us. I'll jump down so she can come up.
Yeah, I think we're good, but I don't know.
Yeah, we're good.
Has a permanent spot up here.
Also, I see that Make is still a speaker, and I wanted to say I'm excited for ping pong tomorrow. Let's go. I haven't practiced since our Saturday. So guys, listen to this. Make and I were literally playing ping pong at 2 a.m. Saturday night. Because why not? So yeah, I haven't practiced since then.
Well, I mean, there was a build up to that, Mariana. It all started in Genesis Plaza with Sinful. Then Sinful hosts a community pop-up space. Then Mariana texts me and goes, after party? Not really, but quote unquote, that's essentially what she said. So then her and I hosted her first 6-hour marathon space. And then they did that. And then we scheduled a party all on that. Mariana, I text you if you're free tonight, let's practice more. I'm stoked as well, though. It'll be fun.
So we can team up and Make. Oh yeah, I'm down.
Yes, we need to take on Make. I did get some beginners luck. I beat Make in the first match, and then he had the best of me after. By the way, bullish if we could ever get games like that into DCL, probably a long time from now, as we're just talking about getting the committees in place. But anyway, I just wanted to chime in because yeah, Mariana, that was really funny how you guys started playing at 2 a.m. after 14 hours of socializing. We almost pulled off a 24-hour event before the actual 20.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to download the video off of my Oculus app, and it's just not working. So I'm trying. But yeah, can't wait for that. So if anyone who has a VR headset and likes ping pong, let us know. We can figure out a tourney. That's all I have so far.
That's all for now?
I think so.
That awkward silence was brought to you by Dr. Drip. Yes, Dr. Drip. Make sure to hit up the wearable marketplace and check out all of Dr. Drip's wearables. And if you have been a user of Decentraland, you may have received some cucumber eyes. So make sure to wear those when you're around him. And yeah, just a quick reset of the room. Make sure to like and retweet. I do see even more new faces down in the listeners. So if you have any questions about Decentraland, just feel free to request to come up to speak, and we'll get you up here. And
do you think a grant that was proposed by one person who listed themselves as the project lead, that then steps down from being project lead a week before the past grant is even enacted, do you believe that grant should go forward, no second questions, or should there be some kind of DAO revocation committee reviewing of the details of that? Because that feels very like, especially one under the accelerator program, which is supposedly for private businesses, it just feels like, yeah, I'm just curious because that exact thing did happen, and I'm just curious what and with a person that I have a personal history of not liking. So I'm just curious if other people. I try to describe it as generally factual and not color it. But doesn't that seem real sus and like should be reviewed? Or nah? Am I overreacting just because I don't like this person?
I think so.
Yeah, definitely should, and I mean, at least from my perspective, should be looked at on like who was the individual that brought the proposal forward, and then like see like their reputation within the space, and as well as possibly even like look at the project as a whole, and gauge their the reputation in the space as well, because it wouldn't be fair to just like revoke a grant because the person that the person that submitted it is no longer or stepped down from their position, but like the project is still kind of like legit.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you sell the project as like, I'm the leader, this is the thing we're doing, like, you're the salesperson, and like the project lead, the new project lead who like only appeared like in the Discord like 2 weeks after the granted pass and like never engaged with the forum community, like that just feels like a very like easily abusable thing for people to like take advantage of by like creating kind of like
It
a
does
shell
look
business.
shady. It does look shady, but there are instances where that could happen. You just never know why their reason for having to step down. But it should be reviewed, because people could take that opportunity, use somebody to promote it, and have no intention of them actually being a part of it, and then.
Well, especially because the accelerator metrics, I don't know. I've just spent a lot of time recently like writing about the grant process and like what like they are to like try to help make it easier for other people to be interested in applying, because I think there should be way more engagement. So I spent a lot of time, and probably more than almost anyone else, like looking at the like actual criteria. And like the accelerator metrics are all, none of them like are measuring progress of actually completing a progress. They're just like, yeah, like how much money do you give us in return on this investment like after it's done? Like it would be an incredibly easy category to like apply for a grant, just send them like in your updates like, yeah, we're doing great, like here's a edited video we made of our product that doesn't actually exist, and then when the money's pocketed at the end, just be like, peace. Because like there's no actual like, there's no meat to it. It's literally just like performance metric. What was the return on investment to Decentraland? It's like, that isn't making sure the person you just gave $150,000 is doing anything with it. How do you like? How would you ever conclude that you should revoke this grant if these are the performance metrics? Once it's done, we'll measure it.
Measure it with a yardstick.
But like, I don't know. Just seems, and like, and I mean, and also, I just don't think that the guys' replies are particularly like persuasive. But I also have predisposition against it. So I'm just asking, trying to get some other people to like speak up or agree. Just let me know if I'm like way off base, but because man, I hate Gabe, so I could definitely just be real biased. But
sus.
Cool. Because the only person who's spoken on their behalf is Tobik, but it turns out Tobik works for him in his marketing, so it's like, well, maybe someone else, maybe a different DAO employee could speak up on their behalf. Because really.
I knew I smelled something fishy whenever he was trying to push so hard to get me to vote. That's why I didn't vote. I don't know. I have a I don't know, some toxic trait where someone's like, "Hey, vote on my proposal." I just don't look.
I hadn't noticed that myself. Hadn't ever experienced that at all. That you point that out. No, but yeah, I don't know. Have I mentioned the fact that Tobik like voted 3 or to 5 times and not for a year prior to being on the DAO committee and delegated 500,000 VP, which I only bring up because Esteban specifically said he used a formula, like an algorithm, to pick the people he delegated his VP to, and I just want to know what criteria a non-participant in DAO governance met to
Argentina.
I can't say things like that. People will call me hateful and xenophobic, so I will just try to.
Don't worry, I was born a few countries north. I think I might be allowed to say it, maybe.
I mean, that is something Gabe and Tobik have in common, I guess, so that also makes sense. I hear it's a beautiful country. I've never been. I don't
Oh
know
my
anything
God,
about it really.
yes, Argentina is beautiful. And according to Tobik, it has the best food in the world. So I'm gonna have to try this as
That
a
can't be
food
true,
lover.
because if that was true, I feel like a non-Argentinian would have told you that by now. Like, I'm not saying that they don't have delicious food. I'm just saying if it was the best in the world, like, I can't think. What are like Argentinian specialties, or like or do they just make like the dopest steak? Because if that's true, that's possible.
It's possible they hand feed their cows. And on that note, I'll pass it over to Specimen 13. I see he requested to come up and speak. How are you doing today, my friend?
Doing pretty good, y'all. Doing pretty good. I was just going to say maybe that algorithm has something to do with in real life meetups, and that boosts it.
Anything's possible, you know. I can absolutely also be biased against Tobik for various reasons, but I would just think I just can't understand anything that leads to a 20-year-old who hadn't been participating in DAO governance, and literally when asked like why he wanted the gig, just said like, I think this would be a good thing to go along with the website I'm trying to make. It was like, how did the co-founder just force that through?
Wait a second. You're saying I can add my personal stuff to the reason why I'm applying in this DAO committee form? Because I'm currently like filling it out. So I should put, I feel like it would empower my position within the Decentraland community. I'll be all powerful.
No, that seems a little more insane. You gotta be more subtle about it.
Oh, okay. That's shit.
That's a little more. No, I had something to say, but then you're yelling about ultimate power distracted me, which, fair is fair. I'm sure I've disrupted plenty of conversations with needless yelling before. So, we're talking about the forums, participating. Oh, speaking of which, is Oddjob still listening, or did he leave? Because I did fill out the document to apply to be delegated VP for the exercise of just doing it, even though I don't imagine there's a whale on this earth who will delegate me any VP. But I did do it. I just need to I want to know the right about having done it, and I might want to redo it. So I hadn't submitted it yet, because procrastinating the part where you submit yourself to someone going like, "Lol, look at Jared wasting his time asking for delegation," isn't totally unreasonable. Because admittedly, lol, me submitting for delegation. The co-founder, the person who delegates everyone their VP, literally used me as the measuring stick for things that are a threat to the Decentraland platform.
Hey, not just you, but your arch nemesis.
No, because the sentence was, I'm starting to think you are as big a threat as Jared. That is the sentence he said.
Starting.
Which technically means I am the thing that is the biggest threat. So he didn't expressly say, Jared, you're the biggest threat, but he uttered a sentence that can only be interpreted as, I guess not. Technically, that's not true. I guess he did technically we could just both be very small threats. But he's a big threats and not the biggest. But I am the unit of measure he goes to when measuring threats to Decentraland at the very least.
I think this may be something to give you a special badge on the forums.
Should I put that? Should I list that on my LinkedIn
the one and only badge? And then when there's a bigger threat, that badge gets transferred.
Speaking of badges, I actually logged in yesterday and I saw my little Grand Revocation Committee badge. That was really cool. So more on that. We're having some stuff in upcoming days to onboard. So yeah, the badges work, guys. They work.
While getting onboarded, you should figure out how who shines the revocation bat signal, because I'm just curious how that works still. Because it doesn't. Is it can anyone go revocation committee now assemble, or do you have to convince a grant support squad person that you think that you guys should investigate it?
Yeah, I think that's going to be definitely part of the discussion. I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, there's a form, a community form that someone can initiate a concern, right? Or the GSS during one of their meetings and such. I'm gonna figure out what the GSS will, or not the GSS, our revocation committee, like how we can, maybe alleviate some risk right away. Like, so that's all going to be part of like the discussion. And of course, with every grant, there should be like every single objective reason to look into a grant, from the team to like, like from like the whole Gabe thing. Like, why did he leave? Was it personal, or was it like ill intent or whatever? Like, that's going to be just let the GSS and revocations committee handle it, or submit a dispute or like the form, and I guess we'll just let the community take it from here, I guess, or the committees with those concerns.
On a scale of 1 to 100, I would imagine Mariana would rank the first case the revocation committee has to review is me reporting Gabe's as like the lowest on the threshold of things she would possibly want to deal with. Your poor DMs.
No comment, Jared. But yeah, I would just let it. If anyone has issue with any grants, just throw in the form, and yeah. And like I said, I'm still learning all this and getting ready for this role, so I will be open to any DMs with any grant concerns.
Who do we have to convince that they should allow rollover in the budget? Because there's no logical reason that you couldn't necessarily fund, can keep all the money available. Like if the money not spent in, in world in Q1, I'm pretty sure it was more than enough to combine with what is there now, for example, to fund the DCL Curations, grant. So like, as a budgeter, in your opinion, is not rolling over logical, or is rolling it over the like logical choice? What would you do intuitively making a budget for like a business when you have revenue on the books?
I mean, normally, it really depends on the company, right? Like my hospital, like they don't care if you add if it's over or under a little bit. But if it's like a startup that has to reserve their funds, then like they're not going to roll over because they'd rather just save that later. So I don't have an answer because it depends, and yeah, I can't really.
Fair
I
enough.
can't speak on
it is a complicated problem.
I can't really speak on Decentraland's financial stance. But yeah, it could depend. But I think it is I do think it's a nice conservative budget for now, but I definitely think that, more discussions need to be made to figure out how to make the budget as not friendly, but like as accurate and beneficial for the creators who want to build in Decentraland, I guess. So
I think that hopefully we can convince the whales who like paper stamp everything that like things like the Beat Trekker grant, which whether you like it or not, like I'm like kind of on the fence on Chris. He seems nice enough to me, but anyway, like things like that are so expensive, like because like, there's realistically no reason that couldn't have been smaller portioned out grants besides just like the part where asking for grants is like slightly time consuming and but like when you're friends with Rob L, it ain't that bad. So like if they'd broken that up over to like 3 2-month fundings grants, there would have still been money for others. So like hope maybe like things of that nature we can be more proactive and not necessarily just giving all the way of the quarter's funds to like one project that doesn't need it, because like that project can still kind of execute its vision. They can make it clear like, hey, like we're submitting this in this way to be respectful to others who want to access these funds, so please don't be a dick to us when we resubmit in 2 months going back already, because yes, this is the but I think that like we can meet in the middle, and like the community cannot be, because like I can immediately see someone be like, well, I don't want to do that because I'll get roasted when I come back in 2 months. But if you frame it as what it is, which is being considerate, then I think it'll be cool. People will be cool, like probably be excited. They'll be more excited to vote for you because like, oh yeah, that's the person who thought about us before asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Another good analysis that I liked that was made in October was the cash runout analysis, which is like, I mean, I've done them at the hospital, but I think I kind of want to see and somehow help figure out the cash runout for Decentraland, because like that's another huge factor into deciding the budget and what are like how long or how much of this like vesting contract could last. So like that'll also help determine these like budgeting patterns or proposals. So yeah, I think we need to do a upcoming cash runout analysis because we haven't done one in a while, and I'm not sure how much of it they looked into during the budgeting proposal. Just one thing to note, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I totally know what a cash runoff analysis is, and I am prepared to hold a conversation about it. Yes.
Jerry, shut up.
But yeah, no, but I mean, someone with someone we all generally trust with an MBA should 100% do that. And then maybe you work with someone else to dumb it down for the rest of us. And then sounds great. Sounds financially responsible.
Actually, I'm going to use this part to shill in the strategic planning channel and the Decentraland DAO. So there's like that SWOT analysis going on right now. And I mean, a lot of members of the community have filled up like the different aspects of Decentraland DAO's, strengths and weaknesses and where there's opportunities. And one of them is financial. And I haven't had a chance to fill in the financial part, but I do want to like encourage others to like, if there's anything that you want to see differently in the DAO, in the different sections, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. They should totally do that because we definitely need more diverse opinions because it has and it's not just like, please tell us good things. It's like, what are like issues, threats, like, what are the strengths of this category? So like they do want like, and they do include the like, whenever the negative feedback I have written on it gets included because it's like all anonymously submitted, so like anyone can do it. Ooh, Shelly made it back. We should let her talk because I believe she was struggling to get back on stage at one point.
Hi.
Hi, thank you. I actually have to dip, but I wanted to invite anybody interested if you want to crash sound check with Little Bitcoin, who's a multi-platinum artist behind this avatar artist. And this will be his very first ever live performance because Little Bitcoin is an animated character. And so we have both of the guys, let's see, I'm going to say this all wrong. Tilla and the actual voice of Little Bitcoin will be present during the show, which is the first time ever. So huge, huge deal. We'll be running sound check in about 10 to 15 minutes. So if you want to jump in, just to peek, it's kind of fun. Or it's a complete disaster, but either way, you can be part of it. And CJ, please check Discord DMs. And who else is in here that I'm waiting for a response? I feel like a mom. Like, I see you, and you're not answering me. Oh, Sin, it's you.
In his defense, he's working.
Hello.
That's true.
Sorry,
That's
Mom.
true.
I was playing poker. Sorry.
Yep. All right. Much love, guys. I am so grateful for all of you and cannot wait to, stay awake for the next 2 solid days. So if you catch me feeling or sounding a little deranged, that's why.
I don't see my private personalized DM.
Oh, no, I tagged you in the videographer DM. We need your input.
Oh. Okay.
All right, bye, everybody. Much love.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye, Shelly. Take a nap.
So,
Please.
so Jared.
Take a 5-minute nap.
Thank
for me,
you.
Please.
5 minutes. You got it.
Yes.
So Jared, not to bring it back to this, but I feel like this might make you feel better. The exact wording is, to be honest, I started treating you as much of a threat to this community as Jared. Not I'm starting.
Oh, okay.
It's
fair
like
enough. It was started past tense. That's
started to. yes. So
now,
you're on par with your arch nemesis
bear
here.
in mind, up to that point, the only 2 things me and Esteban had ever talked about were why was he voting for Tobik, or like Tobik not being qualified for the job, and the fact that like they should really take Rob Allen District X seriously. So like it was the cognitive dissonance I experienced when I woke up like that Saturday or Sunday morning and like read, I believe it was a weekend, and read him saying that to Rob L. You have probably seen the photo of me calling Esteban a dumb bitch with they cut out the photo of me with that picture because the context, because like I'm never, I provide the context of why I'm saying it, and then the people, they go and screenshot contextlessly me calling the founder, a very rude thing, and I should have phrased it differently because you do have a hard time building consensus and support when you lead with you're a dumb bitch person who created everything we're using. But I still would argue that was a very And he tagged me. He tagged me in it. It wasn't even like I stumbled across it. He tagged me. He wanted me to see it, which is so petty, And I would just say that I would recommend to Esteban perhaps a PR person, because I think that there's just a few examples of things that could have very easily avoided, me talking about how much he sucks as a leader if he just hadn't done like 3 things.
Well, I don't think it all falls on him. I do know that he's not like actively part of the team, unless that's changed in like the recent months. Like to my understanding, he like stepped away and now just like roams. So I feel like he's free to speak in his own words,
well, I mean,
so to say.
He and Yamel had a grant to they actively still have one to work on the platform. So they're not he's not uninvolved in the DCL DAO and working on it. And I want to call out the fact that I think there's some what the founder needs to get a couple $100,000 grant to continue to work on the thing he founded. Just also that's kind of sus to me. Dude has millions and millions of mana and he needs to get a few more. Everything he'd the reason grants exist is because there are people without millions in mana who if they work to make Decentraland better, they're not going to benefit from that work. Esteban doesn't need, and Yamel don't need a grant. I don't know what Yamel's stockpile of mana is, but I bet it's far more than the average person. He's been here since the founding team. So it's just the reason grants exist isn't to pay Esteban to keep working on his idea. That's crazy to me. That's actually insane. He already has millions in mana. Everything he does to improve, I can't believe a person like HP I think is I get where he's coming from, because an HP is very much on that what, you want to get paid to work on this? It's poured my blood, sweat, and tears in this for years. I've only just started getting paid recently, and it's just on the other side of that you have Esteban just being yeah, I'm gonna need to keep getting a little bit of that sweet mana if you guys want me to keep improving this. It's crazy. That's actually nuts. God.
If he's not official foundation member, then I can see I can see it being moral, or you can be approach as a community member and ask for a grant for whatever project you may think
sure
would benefit the platform.
But yes, you can. Is it the kind of thing that would send a person directly to hell on a no, maybe not, but but the reality is that he made millions in mana in the inception of the project and the platform. He had, I'm sure he has made. I will have to get we'll have to get Zesty properly agitated enough someday to really stock that origin story wallets. But I'm sure he's doing fine. I really have a hard time believing that he is destitute or in need of financial assistance, and there's no. Does he really need $250,000 or more? What is, I don't know. It seems just silly, greedy, short-sighted, misusing of funds to pay the founder. Because the DAO, when they made the DAO got a treasury allocation and then the founders got mana allocated. So they were already compensated to make this project and make the product better. So it doesn't make sense that they're just actually I also want some of that money.
Not it. So I don't know the details about this grant that you're talking about. If he's necessarily paying himself, or he could even be hiring out to community members or people within his network. So in a way, it might not even be as big of a deal as we think.
Maybe that's possible.
It's within the realm of possibility, you know.
Sinful says as a delegated 500 VP from Esteban, so
Hey, you're over here trying to get him to sell his mana. I'm trying to keep my VP.
I'm not trying to get him. I don't know. I always wonder how much more mana he has somewhere, because for the longest time it was just Beluga with its 4 million, right? And then or 8 million, or which one? Beluga was 4 million, and then one day there was an 8 million VP wallet, and then he split that up amongst you guys. But you think that I don't know? You think that was all of his mana? I don't know. You wonder. I just can't help but wonder. Like, I'm not trying to, like, I don't know. I have no evidence or reason to believe he has more mana, but logically, it's hard for me to imagine he doesn't have, like, more. Just because, you know, why would he I bet there's a ledger somewhere with, like, a nice pile in it. So it just seems like he's got enough money that if he wants to, you know, continue to improve the platform, he doesn't have to ask the Treasury to help. But maybe I'm being unreasonable.
Is the grant that you're referring to the one that's called Build a New DAO Squad to work on Decentraland's protocol?
Maybe? That is one of the ones. I know that the Yamel's in a couple of different grants involvement in their formation, so that definitely could be one of the ones that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's the main one that Esteban is on. It says in the proposal, I'm not here to debate for Esteban or anything like that. I just wanted to provide a little bit of context, and I'll drop back down. But yeah, within the proposal, it says the funds required to hire a 5-person team, world-class engineers, blah blah. Are worth north of 30,000 USD a month, and then it lists, you know, the people that they're going to be hiring. So, yeah, I linked it to Sinful if you want to pin it for other people to read or anything like that. But yeah, it's definitely stated within the proposal. So if anybody wants to read it, feel free.
Thank you, PB.
Regardless, we were talking about something prior to this grant coming up, and I can't remember what that was. We did get off topic.
Okay, we're talking about hospitals and their financial situations, whether if Mariana would have a job if the hospitals didn't charge so much.
No. I want to know. I would love to know if her position would still exist in the hypothetical world where we went to single payer health care, but I don't think that we'd gone quite a distance from there. Since
I mean,
we were talking about
someone has to account for that single payer.
We're talking about revoking things. We were talking about someone does have to pay for the things still. I would imagine you'd be fine, but there'd probably be, like, you know, a few accountants below you on the corporate ladder that might get hacked.
I'm just thinking Mariana comes here to get away from work. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's a good break here and there.
That is a gross misconception because Mariana only knows how to work. If Mariana was relaxing, she'd start to feel guilty, and then she'd, you know, have to go somewhere else to start working. So that's why she never stays in most of the spaces. This way we keep her engaged because she's, like, doing math problems, being diplomatic. She was having fun. That can't last for very long.
Distracting Mariana is one of the things that makes me the most happy by far. The fact that we were able to keep her occupied for 14 hours on Saturday was a huge W because we love it.
Yeah, that hasn't happened in a long time. So, yeah, definitely. It's fun. It's fun to get away.
PB, are you ready to apologize for falsely stating that my glasses weren't used, or are you still adamant that you were not disrespectful?
Okay, that one might be a private matter that you two need to solve. Be nice to each other, guys. Be nice. We're all trying to accomplish the same thing. On that note, I will unmute everyone.
So let me say, I put in a proposal. I'm curious on people's thought on this one about the hosting a wearable contest once a month for 6 months as a test, where there's a couple of options as far as what to do for the winner. The DAO votes. Either we pay the submission fee for their wearable to be created, or not created, but put on the market, or the DAO purchases it to sell, or the DAO purchases it and creates a reward system for people to contribute and participate in the DAO. Or no, should we not do this at all? I think it recognizes the creators. We might see more come out, and particularly if we purchase it and create a reward system, I think that can only be beneficial to increase participation and such in the DAO.
like incentive for voting, essentially.
Yes, voting and commenting and discussing or attending town halls. I'm sure there could be more. The whole reward system would be a whole nother topic to discuss. But if that's the way the vote goes, then that's something that would come up next.
I'm gonna have to check this out. Let's see. I guess I can take a break from my screen being on the 38 pizzas. Let's see. Pull. Oh, no, not this one. Oh, it's the pitch, right? No, that's Lord Like.
Nope, it's a poll. DAO wearable creation contest. Pre-proposal poll.
Ah. Oh, okay. I don't know really, like, to tell you the truth. Like, when it comes to, like, I guess wearable contests, it like could get pretty political, I guess we can say, like, you know, or like who's the one voting? Are we going to set up AI to vote so that it can be a non-biased winner, or are we going to have a certain group vote, which, you know, humans are biased and won't, yeah, you know, they'll pick their personal favorites even though they might not even be the best. Who knows? I'm just it
would be the DAO. You'd have to
that
vote.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
I kind of understand that. Then I'm open to how the voting would happen. I'm open to that as well.
Hey,
like
Sin,
I said, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just being a little jokester here. I just want to say, of everything I've heard in this 3-hour space, Sin, have you considered mediation as an alternative vocational venture for you? I think it would suit you well.
I don't even know what mediation is.
All right, so you're not qualified. Like, being able to mediate a conversation, I mean, you're doing it as a host.
He's not a Libra.
But, you know, just like all the different... He's not a Libra. But in more practical sense, you have mediators, like during like divorce settlements or other things of nature. Like when there's heated debates, you should be like the DAO mediator. You'd fit well. You're so like composed. Anyway, sorry. To fit in
I don't know.
so,
I do tend to. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You had cut out, and I thought you finished speaking.
Oh no, you're good. I was done speaking too. But no, just your ability to kind of like handle two sides to like a debate and things. It's very impressive. We need more.
Well, thank you. I don't know. Well, I guess this could be like up for a DAO vote. Whoever wants to put that proposal up, I'll be there and mew at it. I'll mew the votes. But one existence. I guess that like depending on how this poll may even go. Could even propose like a second half of this poll, like on like whether who will vote for, who would be the people to vote for best wearable or whatever.
Well, we could definitely also put together some sort of criteria and you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as, I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of different wearable topics or specifics that we would vote on, but design, creativity, you know, that different kind of thing. To try to make it fairer, I guess. But I guess that's a good question to bring up.
Assemble the voting committee. It's like you get like people from all over. You assemble the nerds and the streamers and the 3D peoples and and the DAO.
We need more committees.
Oh man, I always love going in the being in the DAO, and like whenever there's like a suggestion for a new committee, and the HP of course being like the Web3 hero coming in, is like, I don't know, we gotta chill out on how many committees we make, like we gotta find the silver lining.
So I'm adding that into the conversation on it, about what you're bringing up for people to think about as well when they vote. Hopefully people will make some comments and have some ideas, because I do think it's a good idea. One, especially getting people to interact with the DAO, and I think it's good for the creators too. But I do understand that point. Somebody with a large amount of BP could show favoritism towards someone. So I would love to hear from the creators. That's the biggest thing.
Yes. So yeah, I guess any creators that are listening, if you would not like to request to come up and speak and share your opinion, perhaps maybe you can even, oh, excuse me, you could even comment it on the bottom right of the space in the little bubble. What are your thoughts? Then yeah, just quick reset, like, retweet room. How long have we been going? We've been going for 3 hours and 13 minutes exactly. So yeah, like, retweet the room if you're new and kind of like wondering what we're up to and what's Decentraland. Just feel free to come up and ask some questions. I do see possibly a new speaker coming up to speak. Have not met them yet, so bear with me, people, in case this may be a troll or not. And if you're not a troll, welcome to the Twitter space.
Hey man, what's up? How's it going?
Welcome. So happy to have you here.
Man, I'm actually very proud to be here today because I have seen all of y'all, DJ Tracks, Peanut Butter, Meta DJ, Kanessa, you guys. I've seen you guys build from the very start. I've been here from the very start. I own land in Decentraland. I have one estate and one single land. Everything roadside because I knew that made sense at that time and I waited to make my buy. But please connect with me. I will put it up in my description very soon because as my project starts, that's the day I'm going to do it.
Sounds good.
Just looking for help, man. I mean, I'm out here by myself in this wilderness, I know this next wave of NFTs is going to be 3D NFTs. People are going to turn out pretty amazing after that. This wave is going to be even bigger than the 2D NFT wave, And I feel like Decentraland is like an online country, if somebody thinks of it that way, since like, your MetaMask is your passport, you're citizen. If you own land, there's an economy running, there's a way of governance. I mean, I feel like I'm part of something bigger every time I start to build and connect in this world. What do you guys think of that?
I think that, a lot of us in this room share the same sentiment. That's why we are all still here in this space, just, heads down, creating and trying to push the platform forward, as well as like, Web3 overall. So yeah, we can definitely share that sentiment. Would anyone else like to pick up the mic and answer that as well? And
I would say the same. I would say I agree. I really feel like this ecosystem is for me. I think is bound to grow long term wise, and I just really love just being a part of it and growing with it and dealing with the growing pains of it. And it's just gonna be cool in the future when we can say, we're the first to experience something, or we got to experience something that most people won't ever get to experience again because it was a live event. So I really feel like token gated events are going to become a big player in this. I've already done a few of them over the last year and a half, and just got a feel for that. I think, physical items with digital items are going to be a huge thing. And yeah, there's just, like I said, and I said this in the space earlier today when we were at Decentraland, but we're all kind of like in an experimental phase where we're just kind of figuring things out and just messing around and having fun with it. And, whatever the outcome is what it is. And I think that the more we focus on the few people that are here right now and the people that we can connect with, I think that, as long as we keep that collaborative mindset together, I see it happening more and more. I mean, you just look at across the board how much has happened. If you really, really look at what happened in the last year, 365 days, how much stuff have we actually done in that 1 year? Like, we've done so many things, experienced so many things, collected so many cool items. And it really is just like an experience thing. Like, it's like the fact that there was like a Jimmy John's thing, and I was able to like go there and like make a sub and then like get a discount to go to Jimmy John's like 10 seconds away from my house, like, or just like being able to like I think food is going to play a huge part in this. Like, a lot of people don't think about that, but I'm always thinking about food, and people love food so much. But food is a big thing. Music, entertainment, and the gaming aspect, I think all that combined together with NFTs is going to be a huge game changer for creators. And if you guys really look at the whole live stream world, if you look at what's happened over the last 5-10 years, there's like a list now of people who have been banned, or like that have to deal with that barrier of like censorship or centralization of like, you can't say this, you can't say that. I think that's something that, like, obviously there's issues of that going on here that I won't get into because it's not my business, but I really feel like when you're directly in the metaverse, your land and your build, I mean, it's your choice of what happens there and what you can create there. And I think that the power of that, plus being able to keep majority of your, there's not really much of a split. I mean, obviously there's publishing fees and stuff like that, but like the fact that we get to keep 100% of our earnings, if you really think about it, compared to like Facebook's 50%, you get like 50% of what you earn. So it's pretty nuts. But I think that the decentralization side of things, and I just think all this put together is going to become a huge game changer for Twitch streamers, Kick streamers, whatever the next platform is they're going to come out with. I think that like this will be a great way where you can connect with people in the 3D aspect versus just a 2D screen where they're just watching you on their phones or computers.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Like, what do you think of spatial though, like disrupting the industry here for now?
Personally, I actually love spatial. I've DJ'd a few shows there. I've been venturing into it more and more lately now that they have like Unity, where you can like, it does really like a place that has high graphics and lighting is a lot different there. But I really enjoy the easy use of it. Like, it's so easy to use and and I love that it's on all platforms like phone, VR, and this Metaverse Fashion Week was great because it was all interconnected. I love that side of things. But spatial's, I think, a game changer for sure.
Yeah, it's like you were telling about the Jimmy John's thing. Now you can make 100 Jimmy John's,
And on for me on the spatial question, I feel like there's room for all metaverse platforms at the end of the day. Each one will kind of like serve its own purpose, and if like a couple of platforms are kind of like similar or like very similar to each other, who knows, maybe there might be like opportunity for future partnerships or kind of like partnerships or companies kind of eating each other up, I guess. When people ask me like how I feel about spatial, to tell you the truth, I always point them towards Hyperfy, because like I feel like both of them are the same things. Like when it comes to like graphics and stuff like that, spatial has its advantages that it does provide like maybe a room. If you're not like Blender savvy, then you can just have a room and build your gallery there. But if you do know how to use Blender, then you could use Blender to build the exact room that you want, and then like just drag and drop it into hyperpie. So yeah, I mean, each metaverse space will have its own purpose
Yeah,
and its
so
own community, of course.
yeah, about that, like I have this differentiation in my mind that Decentraland being like its own thing, it's like currency and being like an online country, that is what I call a metaverse. But in terms of spatial, I don't call it a metaverse because it's just a virtual world, because it's centralized, and you know, any day spatial could get overloaded and the servers could go down for like 2-3 days. Maybe it could just, everything could just go out, you know. So I don't call it a metaverse per se. I feel to just say a virtual world is enough.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, like, I guess if we go by the definition, like a metaverse is a collection of virtual worlds. So, like, in that sense, there's people out there that consider Twitter a metaverse. Like here, us sitting in this Twitter space, we're currently on the metaverse. And you know what kind of like brings, like, let's use Decentraland as the example. The difference that Decentraland has over, like, let's say metaverse, you know, Twitter Spaces or Roblox, Fortnite, whatever the fuck, is that it's built on a blockchain, and it was the first to be built on a blockchain. So, yeah, I feel like the word metaverse is just very broad. It speaks to many. It comes in many forms.
Yeah, I mean, this is something to, like, you know, clarify how things can actually work, because centralization can just term it as not a metaverse, because, you know, if you say a universe, the universe is not centralized. It's like the institutions within it are centralized.
So you're saying that our sun is not the center of the universe?
No, like...
Sorry, that was a bad joke.
No, I mean, I don't know if the sun is the center of the universe. I'll be very honest. So, but I was saying in terms of, like, if there's a universe and we can go anywhere on the planet or into the universe, and people have taken a piece of land or a planet and centralized it, but the universe is not centralized. You see what I'm saying?
Most definitely. And CJ, I see you came back up to speak. Did you want to add anything on that note?
No, I had a phone call in, so I jumped down because I didn't want to miss anything if you guys said anything while I was gone. But I also wanted to say I just found this out recently, and it's literally some mind blowing shit, because I couldn't believe I didn't know this. But like my whole life, I swore the sun didn't really go nowhere. Like I thought it just spun around and stood in place. But I just found out that it orbits around the Milky Way galaxy, and we're all moving at like 800,000 miles per hour on top of already spinning thousands of miles per hour. I think that's just mind blowing. I had nothing to do with the metaverse, but I just wanted to put that out there because the stars are really freaking cool. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, man, I agree. The stars are cool. Like, I was having this conversation with my friend last night itself. Like, you know how the sun is in flares, and like you could see rings of, you know, whatever just orbiting around the center of the sun, and it feels like the energy of this particular solar system is very high at the center, and all the planets are moving towards it and just gonna circle it and shit. You know, you never know what's gonna go down. I mean, if another sun comes near our sun, the trajectory of our planet could just be ruined, and everything could go haywire in one day.
And all the Dow arguments will be pointless.
All the Dow arguments, all the little drama here, it would be meaningless. We wouldn't even have internet.
We got Musk for that. He'll take us off here for, you
know. So like on that note, whenever you said, what if a sun comes too close, have you ever, like, totally off topic, have you ever watched like those universe documentaries or whatever, when they like show you an example of when like two suns or two planets collide, and they're like, they like start hovering within each other's orbits, and then they get closer and closer and faster until like fucking
No,
explosion.
I don't believe in that shit because it's pretty prevalent that there's like a magnetic or like some sort of a field that basically prevents the planets to get close to each other, even our Earth to the sun, and if another sun comes near, like one sun comes close to another sun, their magnetic fields will interact. Even the planets' magnetic fields will interact with each other, but they'll more like attract and repel like magnets, but they won't per se collide unless it's going like really fast and it's at a very precise collision course.
I also have to add, if you've never been to Las Vegas during the summer, you will really like. I've been there for almost 4 years. I've been coming here for almost 10 years, but the sun is getting closer to the world every day. If you don't live here, you don't know it. But when it's 120 degrees outside and it feels like an oven when you open the door, you'll realize global warming might just actually be real.
Dude, back in 2019, I was in Vegas in August because I went for my birthday, and like I remember it was like 110 degrees, but I wasn't sweating. I was just like baking. I have to admit, your 110 degrees are so much better than Florida's 110 degrees when we're all like just wet and gross down here and smell funny probably.
Oh, I've been to Florida plenty of times, man. I know, and I'm from Pennsylvania, so we deal with like 100% humidity. It's the worst feeling ever. Walking out, you get out the shower, you dry up, and then you're literally soaked by the time you walk out the front door. So, I don't miss the humidity at all. But yeah, Vegas it's already starting to get to those temperatures, starting to reach like 97, 98 degrees. No pun intended. And yeah, we're starting to reach. We'll be in the hundreds in no time. But yeah, it's something you kind of get used to. You actually, I love dry heat. I don't really sweat at all, and I used to sweat a lot back in PA. It was the worst, especially after like performing and dancing and stuff like that. Like our shirts were literally drenched from head to toe, just drenched in sweat. It's so disgusting.
But isn't the non-sweating a little more dangerous because you don't know you need it?
Oh yeah, especially if you indulge in 420 activities, you have to drink like 10 times as much water than the average person because it's already dry enough, and then you're just like giving yourself cotton mouth. You're just like, shit, I gotta drink more water. Like you gotta find different ways to hydrate out here. It's like it's really something, especially if you're like into hiking and stuff like that, and you're going to higher elevations. Like, I mean, I don't know if people don't know this, but like there's a place in Vegas called Mount Charleston. It's actually like 11,000 elevation, but it like snows there like 6-7 months out of the year. It snows there like it'll snow like 3-4 feet of snow sometimes. It's like 45-minute drive from Vegas, and so we get like all types of seasons out here, like just all within an hour drive. It's all really cool. So that's why I love living out here. It's pretty unique and nothing to do with the metaverse, but you guys know I'm always talking about getting outside more often, and hiking is definitely one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, random topic, but yeah, hydrate. Everybody drink some water right now.
I come to Vegas in the winter, though. For New Year's, I've come there like 3 times. It's fun.
We have to do a meetup ASAP. I keep talking about it, but we're gonna. I'm gonna organize a meetup for next year. I don't want to do it this year because it's too short notice, and I really want to make it like something really cool and less of a conference and more just like party, celebrate. Let's just have a good time and celebrate the fact that we all get to like hang out together in the metaverse. It's pretty dope.
I don't party, but I can network with you.
That's the beauty of Vegas. You could be networking, and then all of a sudden, like some random celebrity would just come sit in your booth with you. That's what I love about living out here. You never know who you're gonna run into. Not like I'm into celebrity culture or anything like that, but it's just cool sometimes just kick it with like the one time I kicked it with the Green Power Ranger, and I thought it was the coolest shit ever. Like it was the original Green Power Ranger, or the second Power Ranger that ever came out, and I was just like, oh my god, he literally started doing ninja backflips in the club. It was so freaking crazy. It was so random. That's Vegas for you, like hanging out with a Power Ranger in a nightclub, drinking and just having a good time. And yeah, Vegas is wild, man. It's I love it so much. If anybody's never been here, I definitely recommend coming here. Come during the weekdays if you want to save some money. Don't come on the weekends. You'll freaking blow so much money. But come on the weekdays. It's a good time.
Bro, yes, I remember, and I'll pass it over to you, Metaverse. I'm so sorry for getting up. I remember, taking my trips, and I would be like, I have to leave on a Tuesday or Wednesday because the tickets are like $70 a pop, and if I wait till Thursday, Friday, I will be paying $300.
You should see the prices for the Formula One that's coming here in November. They cranked the prices up because Formula One is the first time it's really coming to Vegas. They're building like all types of structures and stuff like that to make this track out here. But the hotel prices on that night, I think some of them are like literally like that are usually like $100, $200 a night, or like $3,000, $4,000 a night just to stay on the strip and see the Formula One cars from your hotel room. Let alone the tickets to actually attend Formula One. It's like $5,000-$10,000 for some of the VIP tickets, and it's ridiculous. But it's going to bring a lot of international crowds to here. But yeah, Vegas is on fire right now. And if you guys also check out, I actually went to this place on Saturday. I actually felt like I was in the metaverse. I still got to post videos of it. But this place is really cool at the Resorts World. And then they're building a Madison Square Garden sphere. It looks like a giant snow globe with a screen around it, and the inside and the outside. And it's going to be finished in October, November. So there's a lot of really cool things coming on here.
Yeah, about that Formula One thing, like, do you have tickets? Like, can you get me in there, man? Like, I'll come.
Listen, here's the deal. I don't have tickets. I can't afford those tickets. I mean, I could, but then I'd be broke. But like, one thing you can do is something called brand ambassador work. A lot of people don't know about this. This is the type of work that Mama Trax is into. But you can do brand ambassador work, and you can literally work these events, get paid to be there, and get to see the events, which is really cool. So they do like music festivals, conferences, conventions, all types of stuff. And once you really get into it and you network enough, you can get booked a lot doing that. But you can literally show up to Formula One if you get booked with the right company, not have to pay to be there, and you get to witness it all, like as long as you're outside, because there's inside and outdoor stuff coming. But yeah, it's gonna be hopefully I can I'm trying to use my TikTok following for something once in my life. I've never like used it to like get into somewhere free or anything like that, but I think for this one I might be like, hey, I have a decent TikTok following, maybe I could be a media person today or something. I don't know, I'll figure something out, but I'm not gonna miss it. I have to get into it somehow.
When Vegas meetup. And actually, here I'll pass the mic over to Sayel. I see that he requested to come up to speak. How are you doing, Sayel? Welcome.
Hey, thanks. I think it's really cool the topic earlier, if whether the universe is decentralized or not. I think it is, like what you said, if the orbit is like just if a planet is orbiting, and if it's just inches away from its actual orbit, it's gonna hit something up. So they are in the perfect place, so and someone should make or made the rule of it, or in our sense, someone should code it the way he orbits, or yeah. And like, we can't, they say we can go back, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but they say we can go back to the past, but not the future, or vice versa, because this the time starts, basically the universe starts with Einstein's theory, right? Big Bang. And then in the religious sense, God said, let there be light. So Big Bang is just like, it's like a really, really big light, right? There's no kind of there's no explosion. It's always they're always paired, explosion and light. So if that is the start of time, we can only go back. So I think there's a probe moving something far away so we can see. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting opinion that you have. And you talked about coding it too, right?
Yeah. I mean, because in this life, what are the rules? What are the codes? It's physics. It's time. It's
Yeah.
right.
I call myself a physical physicist. Can you understand what that means?
Oh, I'm not really.
So basically, like, if you can juggle a ball, you're a physical physicist.
I'm so intrigued. I need to know more.
This is
No.
the most deep thought Twitter space I think ever. We're getting real deep into the into astronomical talk. I love it.
It's like physics, if you know physics, you're a physicist. And if you know it physically, like you can play soccer or play some game, then you're a physical physicist.
Like it is decentralized, right? So but someone needs to plant the trees, right? Someone needs to tender the cows or the chickens, right? But if you plant it, it will grow, right? So I don't know, just thoughts, just yeah.
So guys, I need a little bit of some help with the grants scene. I'm trying to build a lot of things here. I've already 2 wearables in process. The third one is also almost there. I haven't published anything yet. I'm building on spatial, and I'm trying to build on my land in Decentraland as well. Like, I need some direction and some help. Can anybody guide me here, please?
Best direction I can give you is be there for others. Be there, and others will be there for you. As in, maybe you may have taken the right step forward here, and coming up to speak today. We have some listeners here. They're community members. Build a reputation. Show that you are accountable, and that you can deliver as well. Because at least the way I see it, it's all about how like the community perceives you. If you're coming in and posting a proposal on a number wallet, I'm usually gonna vote no instantly, until I see that you may have like some sort of reputation within the space community. It doesn't even have to be that you're on Decentraland, going to other people's events, but could participate in the DAO, because the DAO has always has like some ongoing projects, and discussions about how we should move forward. Yeah, be a student of the space, as we all are. Like, we're all like just learning as we go. Like, we all like we all just we may look like we know what we're doing, but we're all students.
I mean, I've participated in the DAO. Like, I've voted for many proposals in the past, and I've watched Decentraland from the very beginning, ever since it was launched and empty. I was in there, I felt like I was one of the first persons in there. And I've just been seeing this place grow, and I know this is where the future is going. Like, I cannot think of one single business that will not need this space. Like, literally, if anybody can tell me one single business that doesn't need this space, I can debate him instantly. I can tell him how that's not possible.
Let's put that to the test.
Go for it.
Why would you say that, like, a company? Why do you think a company should invest into Decentraland opposed to all the other platforms that are currently available?
What kind of company you're talking about?
Oh, that's a good question, my friend. Because yeah, it is like kind of like like a company by company basis, like on what they specialize in?
Correct.
Okay, so um, let's say a company was looking to build a virtual office where they can hold virtual meetings in. Like, would you think Decentraland has an advantage or could have something in the works, like in the pipeline, that could
So okay,
like stand out?
let me just go by a simple example. So I'm trying to do this project where I'm trying to get this restaurant to onboard the metaverse. So what I'm basically trying to do is I'm gonna make a copy of the real restaurant in spatial, and I'm gonna try to make all the animations, all the dishes in 3D, keep it out on the tables, like the menu out there in 3D. People can come click it and it'll expand and like show all the ingredients and stuff. And the owner can sit right there at the real reception with their laptop open and spatial open to communicate with anyone that comes into spatial virtually. And it's like a website. Like, people go to a website but you can't communicate while they're there, but this one is like 3D and you can see everything and talk to someone, and it's just interactive. You can have like a pizza running in the oven in the background and as an animation. It's endless.
Okay, so with that example, I can see like companies like delivery companies like Uber and DoorDash being more successful in like opening up like a 3D metaverse version of like their menu and their platform. They're opposed to like a single restaurant, because like a restaurant could be limited to like your area, like where and yeah, that's like the. Oh, go ahead.
About that. So how about, like, I've thought about this before, and you could think of it like, let's say, take Vegas for example. Let's divide it into two parts: North Vegas and South Vegas. Now, let you can make South Vegas, I'll make North Vegas, and in North Vegas I'll take all the restaurants and I'll put them all into one spatial metaverse. So anybody that wants to see all the restaurants in North Vegas just needs one link that can be marketed to them, and they could just walk into this mall of restaurants and check out every menu. You could specialize it down to like, oh, Thai restaurants in Vegas or Indian restaurants in Vegas. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. As you were kind of like speaking on that, I even like envisioned like a Decentraland version of it, where like you get a bunch of land and build the strip, and like it could even be a opportunity to build partnerships with, like, I know CJ is the Vegas expert. Thank you, CJ. Could be an opportunity to build kind of partnerships with companies or hotels, whatever it may be, that are like on the strip, and show them possibilities of what metaverse can do for their business. Because like when we talk Vegas, that is like kind of like it's known all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it might help. What do you think, CJ?
No, I really feel like I definitely could see. I mean, a lot of companies out here are actually already dipped into the NFT thing. I just think a lot of them didn't do it successfully because they were just more worried about like dropping NFT, having utility behind it, and it being a perk somehow for their hotel. That was like what I saw a lot of. But I know things like the Las Vegas Gaming Commission is building some type of metaverse. I'm not sure what platform they're using. I know nightclubs out here are starting to like dip and dab with the concept of metaverse and how it can, how people can come to their nightclub and maybe somehow even be able to spend money there through the metaverse and then be at their nightclub virtually. And have experience through that. I think that could be a really, really big play. Because not everybody can just like fly out to Vegas and go to a club and go watch their favorite DJ. But just imagine like your metaverse spot with your camera is like, let's say if it's a first person camera on the DJ itself. Like, let's say if a DJ is rocking a first person GoPro on their forehead, they're DJing, and then you're like sitting in a metaverse watching it somehow first person with them, or like I could even see it taken on to even the sports world, where like, let's say you're at a Las Vegas Golden Knights game and people are playing hockey, and then there's like a camera directly on a player, and you put your headset on, and you can like watch from the player from the headset, or you can watch in the metaverse. Like, there's a lot of different possibilities of things to do, but Vegas can definitely, I think, benefit from the metaverse because, you know, people from all over the world want to be in Vegas all the time. I mean, it's like the entertainment capital of the world in my eyes, just for me being here and just watching how many people have come here over the last 3-4 years, even with the pandemic being around. Like, I mean, this place has never really stopped moving. It stopped for like 2 weeks, and then it was just like, turn the switch back on. You guys are back. But yeah, I definitely see Vegas thriving in the metaverse, depending on which companies decide to jump in first. And, you know, I think that once there's a way that people can like physically be in the hotel or something, and then like be in a digital version of it, you know, or like vice versa. Like, I think that that's going to be a big player out here in Vegas. I think it'll take a little while though for them to really embrace what the metaverse can do for them though.
All I'm thinking is like, oh my God, Steve Aoki is playing in a world-renowned club in Vegas this weekend. I can't make it to Vegas. Oh no. But wait, I can buy a ticket on the metaverse.
No, 100%, and that's crazy because I live like no lie. I think I live like 6 or 7 minutes away from him. Like the drive to his house is that close to me, and he really is into the Web3 space. So I've tagged him in a few pictures here and there, just kind of like teasing at it, like, hey, let's collab, let's do something, and no luck yet. But you never know, man. That could be a golden collab right there, just waiting to happen since we do live literally right next to each other. But I'm in an apartment. He's in like a $70 million mansion. It's a big difference, but hey, it's still a house, still a roof over my head. I ain't complaining at all. I'm happy with my place. So, but yeah, it's really dope to just to be that close to all these people. Vegas is becoming Hollywood 2.0. They already said it. They're bringing Hollywood film studios here. Mark Wahlberg moved here. He's bringing like his whole film crew, and like he's hiring people for production and all types of stuff like that. So it's a growing city, and it's never really going to stop. I don't think. I think it's just only going to get bigger over time. And I think the metaverse will be intertwined in Vegas somehow, some way. If you ever been to a place out here called Area 15, I think that place could thrive. I've already had conversations with them about metaverse stuff, and they do a lot of NFT events already. So I think they're a great place for us to even have a meetup at. Honestly, we don't even have to really organize a spot or whatever. I mean, I would definitely love to have entertainment DJ wise and have some type of show going on. But at this place, you could just show up with a group of friends and just like hang out there all day. It's a really, really cool place. But it looks the most like the metaverse. So I'm going to post some videos today and tomorrow of the art installment I went to the other day that literally felt like I was inside of a metaverse digital world. It was really, really cool. And Vegas has so much inspiration around it. It's even though they call it the Sin City, I mean, at least we embrace it, you know, like at least we're open about how crazy things are out here. Other cities try to hide it and pretend like they're all innocent and stuff, but man, Vegas is if your stomach can handle it, Vegas is a good time.
Sin City, it's my city. Let's go. Hee hee. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of potential. Just I guess like as a community, as individuals, in this space, we need to kind of find the right people to talk to, and yeah, like, you know, it takes time to develop those ideas, especially for them, since they're like, you know, bigger companies, entities, and they need to go through like a whole line of yes approvals to kind of like make things happen.
Yeah, it's definitely not as easy as us just being able to be like, hey, I have an idea. Okay, let's all collab, and boom, there's an idea, and it becomes executed. That's really like not easy. It's just easy for them to do. But that's the beauty of it for us, is like, you know, we don't have to go through permits and go through business meetings with like 10 different execs sitting around a round table in suits that have no idea what the company's even doing. They're just worried about stock numbers going up and down and all that good stuff. So I love that part of this, is that we all get to create this and we get to decide, you know, what happens next for the most part. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing we all live in. And one thing he said too is like, Decentraland is like a country. And I've said this like a lot last year. I'm like, Decentraland is a country. Spatial is its own country. Like all these places are countries, and you can stay local. You can stay like, you know, national and like do your thing in one country and thrive. Or you can be diverse and you can be at 7-8 different countries, and you can perform all over the place, get even more of an international audience. And I love that part of this, is that I get to have international friends. I'm creating international relationships. And I know we all talk about digital, but like, man, the physical connections you can build with people in this metaverse is just unmatchable. And I've already met like probably 9 or 10 of y'all out there. I'm sorry if I didn't meet you yet, but I'm trying to get to everybody little by little. And that's been the funnest part about this all, is like making friends that I can call on a daily basis and just have a random conversation about this metaverse stuff and talk about nerdy stuff, and we could be nerds together.
Totally. Yeah, and to like what you had mentioned, it's like I'm trying to meet you guys. So far the form that we have met is through FaceTime, through Biometa's phone in Miami.
The bios always FaceTime me. I love it. That's my homie right there. I'm definitely looking to get into more meetups. Like, not towards the end of this year, but I told you guys this year I wanted to travel a little less and really take a break. But next year I'm definitely gonna get out more. Hopefully speak at these events and just tell people about my experience of what I've been able to do as a musician here. And another thing too is that a lot of people miss this part of the metaverse, is like, don't look at the metaverse as like a place where it's really like an investment thing. Like, you can learn so many good skills here that can be applied to other things in life that may not necessarily be the metaverse, like 3D design skills or community building, or like all these things are going to become so valuable in the future, because AI can't do what some human, like, there's some things that AI won't be able to really copy as much as we love it. It's like, it's never going to be able to like have that human connection, that one-on-one connection that we all have with each other. I mean, AI is getting close enough to be like humans, which is kind of scary, because then they can kind of copy a person. But it is really like, being a community builder, being a 3D designer, all these things you can learn from here are what you take away from this. And then you never know where you might need that in the future. I think that's part that a lot of people are missing. Just want to put that out there.
Exactly. That is a very important thing you brought up. Like, yeah, the skills that you acquire here in the metaverse, like, are skills that transcend through different markets. So I'm happy you brought that up, CJ. And I see Cowboy's hand is up. Did you want to add something?
Hey, what's going on, bro? Hey, everyone. Yeah, I just wanted to add. I was on Spaces with Decentraland the other day, and one thing I noticed, because I onboarded a few people during NFT week, Decentraland is a great way to like keep in contact with people you meet in the real world, and that's what I noticed. My like normie friends like kind of used it as. They met some of the metaverse people in person, like CK and a few others that are really cool. And then 2 days later, they were in the True Band room with me, hanging out with those people. So I think one thing I noticed is that it's just a great way to keep in contact. And when you can't hang out with that person, this is another way you can hang out with them in the metaverse, in Decentraland, having a good time. And to see like my real friends treat it as that way, because that's kind of like the conclusion I came to. They onboarded themselves. I didn't really have to do much once they met everyone. I think that's something we should really look into, is using this like in real life events, and then getting people, that's how you keep in contact from there. What I'm saying? So maybe we can definitely look into that, which is something I'm trying to do. But I think that's interesting. I noticed a lot of things with the metaverse over the NFT week. A lot of people were streaming into the metaverse. A lot of people were streaming, period. A lot of the parties were streamed, to holders or wherever, streamed in a Discord. So, I mean, you see a lot of streaming, period, going on. It's like, how can we direct all that into the metaverse, into the Decentraland, would be interesting to figure out.
Yeah, most definitely. How do we do this? How do we solve this Rubik's Cube we call Web3 metaverse? On that note, just did I cut anyone off?
No, I was just gonna say, I think Restream is a big answer to a lot of that. I think just streaming out to more platforms that you're comfortable with, that you can interact with the chat with,
I think, balancing how much places you can stream to with how much you can actually interact with. If you can get all the chat boxes in one place, that'd be incredible. But just restreaming to more places that you may have never streamed to before. Obviously, there's music barriers and copyrights you have to deal with, but I don't want to hold you guys up too much. It's a really long space today. I know you guys are on spaces so much on Wednesdays, but do it every week consistently. Just want to send you lots of love, and really looking forward to partying with you guys for 24 hours straight, as many hours as I possibly could at the true stage, starting tonight. Literally starts. It's 1:00 now, my time, so 8 hours from now. Literally, everybody, I need you guys to look at your phones, or look at your Googles or Alexas, and just say, set an alarm 8 hours from now, and it'll literally set an alarm, say, for the true show. You'll be there in the beginning of it. If you get 24 show apps, I believe there's a special prize for that. We don't recommend anybody staying out 24 hours if it's something that you can't do, but if your computer can handle it, I mean, why not just kick it in there? And I'm also going to be doing an airdrop to anybody who holds my show app for my first hour of the show. So if you get there for the first hour, I'm going to do a special drop. Once I know how many show apps there was during my hour, I'll be able to then create a music NFT around that and then airdrop it to the people who did collect that show app. So that's going to be an exclusive just for those people that showed up and hung out and spent their time at the true stage, starting in 8 hours. So it's going to be really, really fun tonight. And restream. Restream is the answer. Get it everywhere. Restream it more places.
Right. And so just a quick announcement, anyone that's at the CBD plot, I'm gonna be shutting down the screen so that Buffalo can start his event over at the saloon. Anyone that's listening on the land, just feel free to join us on Twitter, and you can continue to listen in on the conversation. And anyone looking to party,